1 minute early, ladies and gentlemen. That's bang for your buck or something. I don't even know. Ladies and gentlemen, the bar is moving indeterminately. There we go. Now all of a sudden it's moving fast. Go for a D. Tell people what they're supposed to do.
The show is for educational and entertainment purposes only. You have to be 21 and over to be here. Now you have to leave. Back
Right
to
on,
you.
ladies and gentlemen. So the show is for adults only. Please remember, I needed to be spoken clearly. Please be 21 and over when you're on this show. Where I am, the rules are 21 and over. If you are somewhere else where the rules are a little bit different, feel free to follow your own local rules. I couldn't possibly know what all your local rules are in Antarctica and on Mars and all these different places. Ladies and gentlemen, what am I trying to do here? I'm trying to do a couple things at once. But please keep your noses clean, ladies and gerbs. Gerbils. I don't know, for some reason I always keep saying gerbs. Ladies and gentlemen, what am I even trying to introduce? I'm out of freaking focus or something. Well, I guess I'll just do it step by step, ladies and gentlemen. So, welcome to the show. If you guys are new to the show by some absolute miracle, welcome, first of all, like I said, probably 15 times already. But you are welcome to sit back, relax, join us for a puff, kind of enjoy yourselves. We'll hopefully be here for a while. These Saturday shows usually are fairly longer shows, but I've genuinely lost tolerance in just the kind of dipshit dead air stuff. So if we don't get a bunch of guests on here, if we don't get a few guests on here, I'm just going to cut it and we'll move on with our lives. I really don't feel compelled to slave away at live streaming. I know that it's really important for a lot of you folks, and this is something that's been that I've been reminded of very intensely recently when someone reached out and mentioned, "Oh gosh, my dad he loves your show and he watches it all the time." Da, da, da. And gosh, it was like another lightning bolt because it's not the first one. I don't know why I have to keep learning these lessons over and over again, but it was another lightning bolt. I guess sometimes you need a reminder or something that the positive elements of the community far outweigh, far just exponentially outweigh the negative ones. The negative ones, like they are in real life, they're really squeaky, they're really loud, and unfortunately with the internet, in real life, they would just get punched in the fucking face and they would shut up. On the internet, they can just keep up and keep going and just say whatever the fuck they want forever and ever and ever. So you end up, I don't know, I think it's human nature, at least it's been my human nature to focus on those kind of fuckheads basically that bother my show. Anyway, I'm meandering, I realize a little bit, but it's been on my mind for a while. Like I really need to focus on the positive elements of what I do here, of the show, of the community, all of that kind of stuff. And with that same kind of token, I need to make sure that my interaction with it is positive. Like honestly, I'm not your guys' slave or something to basically sit here and create live streams for you. So if I can't fucking stand it, that's going to rub off and so on and so forth. You're not going to end up standing it either, I'm sure. But in the meantime, I don't think there's any reason for any of us to suffer, being here. You know what I mean? So it's not to say that I'm suffering, but I'm definitely not doing things the way that I want to. I've definitely kind of, I've felt for a long time that this show has basically led me by the nose, which is ridiculous because it's my show, right? So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I guess where I'm going to with that is I'm perfectly happy to maintain some of these live streams, but I'm going to expect a higher level than we've had for the longest time now. I do expect you guys to fix your audio. If we can't hear you or you sound like fucking garbage, I don't want you on the show for all the invitations and open panel invitations and everything else. I haven't made that rule yet, but it's coming, ladies and gentlemen. So please stay tuned. If you want to come on these shows, if you want to come on this show, because I don't know about other people's fucking shows, but if you want to come on this show, you have to have some basic level of audio quality. You literally can just plug in some fucking headphones that you got at 7-Eleven with a goddamn microphone in it. Like this is 2025, 2026. Even with the tariffs, you can fucking buy something for under $30, for sure under $50. So there's no excuse for any of you fucking people. What am I going to say? I've been thinking about this for the longest time, and I am really moving forward. Um, what am I trying to say? I am. Jeez, I can't think of the fucking word that I'm trying to say. Anyway, I'm fairly sure that I'm going to do this. I've been thinking about it for a long time, and I for the longest time on this show, because I've been doing this show for fucking years now, I never required people to grow my genetics or, be my customers or any of that kind of stuff. I wanted it to be as much of an open panel as possible. But I've realized that that shit is just fucking pointless. This is the goddamn wash. Like 95% of you come through here, you pass through, you go somewhere else. Some of you folks have, not probably most of the people watching right now, but some of the folks have passed through literally merely to get practice for their own show, which really left a huge, just terrible taste in my fucking mouth. Just the whole way that that one guy did it. I've really never really been able to see him the same way. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I've let all kinds of fucking weirdos through the show. But eventually, here fairly soon, I'm going to make a rule that everybody that does hop on the show is going to have to, in one way or another, grow my genetics. That's not basically a method of me getting more money or something. That's not necessarily me trying to squeeze you guys for money, because I'll be perfectly happy to send you guys seeds, send you guys clones. Obviously, I can't send clones overseas, but if I can. Get you the genetics in some way. Obviously, you could be customers. God fucking forbid. Half of you guys are, this is your fucking entertainment your entire week. So you could honestly be customers of mine. Sometimes I'll hear you guys with some of the genetics that you have paid money for, and I cringe. I can't even. So whatever. But I'm not going to require you guys pay money to come on the show. I don't think that's kosher. But I am eventually here going to require that everybody grows something of mine. Like I said, I'll be happy to send something to those people, testers, whatever else, honestly. And in many cases, you can request what you want, honestly, if you're a regular on the show. But I realize that basically it does me no good to let random people come through here. And half the time, the genetics you guys are talking about has nothing to do with anything that I've ever touched. Three-quarters of the time, it's fucking garbage, on and on and on. So it frustrates the hell of me to just kind of sit here passively and let you guys talk about that kind of stuff. Which is not to say that I want to discourage a genetics conversation or anything like that. These days, we have to be a little bit careful, just simply because we have some trolls still watching. They'll eventually get tired of it. I can't imagine that they're going to watch every single one of my shows for fucking months and months and months, just waiting to hit something and not being able to. Like, they're going to get bored, honestly, eventually. So anyway, one of these days we'll just get back to fucking normal. And honestly, I have been saying I'm going to do some other channels. I am going to do some other channels, and I may or may not tell you guys about some of the work until at least maybe I get some subs or something. We'll see how it goes. This is part of it. I really just don't trust most of the community. Like I don't share my private details with you guys. I never ever tell you guys when my birthday or anything like that is, because I'm just sure it would be used against me in some way by some of the fucking trolls in the chat. So it's one of those things, like, even if it isn't, I'm so paranoid about it at this point that I'm just like, I don't trust half the community. But again, what was I just saying? I have to remember that there is quite a bit of positivity in the community, right? So I have to dial it back and remember, every time I think about, oh, I'm going to cancel the show, I'm going to do it completely differently, I'm going to stop doing these live shows, on and on and on. I have to remember, fuck, dude, there are a lot of people, not even just a handful, but a lot of people that really enjoy this show. And again, it's not as if I'm going to sit here and cut my blood for viewership or something. But I guess where I'm going with that is, it doesn't make sense to throw the baby out with the bathwater. It doesn't make sense for me to completely change everything all at once, on and on and on. But it also genuinely doesn't make sense for me to just kind of sit here and pull my fucking teeth, because most of the time these days I sit here and pull my teeth. Um, it's very rare for us to really have any kind of high-end discussion about growing or anything else. Again, I realize many of us are trying to be on good behavior, and I appreciate that. I actually do appreciate that you guys have been on your best behavior. Many of you have really been uh, uh, going above and beyond. Genuine, I have noticed, honestly, I have noticed that you guys have been really chill. So thank you with that. So again, I'm not trying to complain. I almost got coffee on my arm. I'm not trying to complain about, I just lost my train of thought a little bit. Uh, where am I going with that? Oh, just that I'm going to be making changes. I'll just dial it back a little bit. I'm going to be making some changes. One of those changes is, like I say, if we don't get the conversation running in a reasonable amount of time, we're bouncing, basically. I'm not going to hand it, I have to be honest, D, I'm not going to hand it off to you for 7 hours or something. I might be able to hand some of these shows off to people, but for folks that, how do I put this? I want to be nice about this. Like, most of the time when I leave the show, people can't get on the show. Like, they'll be waiting for an hour in the freaking room because you guys aren't checking. Like, I'm not okay with that, honestly, because all of that basically screws up the conversations. It screws up the flow of the conversations, on and on and on. I don't want my shows to be monologues of three people that probably should have their own channel. So I realize I'm coming off as an asshole or something here, but anyway, I'm gonna basically dial it back and try to make sure that I don't have any throwaway shows. This is not a takeover. This is not a throwaway show or whatever else. This is my channel. This is my smaller channel. This is my fucking show. If some of you guys are able and up to the task of running it and hosting it, even just for a short time, an hour or 2 hours, whatever, that would be great. But up until now, there has been quite a few problems with some of you guys not being able to host, even just in the most basic way. So that basically tells me that when I leave the show, I should probably cut the lights off. And I have to be honest with you, I just can't stay here for 5 hours, just sitting here in front of the computer, waiting for some kind of conversation to come up. So that's the logic basically behind where I'm going with this. Basically, I'm not trying to be an asshole. I'm not trying to remove everybody's favorite whatever, or people's favorite hangout spot or that kind of stuff. Because I know it becomes a hangout spot, community center, all that kind of stuff, right? I'm really genuinely not trying to destroy that. And one of the ways that you could actually not really change my mind, but I guess to say help me move forward basically is make these shows make more sense, honestly. Instead of making me beg you guys to hop on here. Genuinely, hop on, join the conversation. Tell your fucking friends about it. God forbid you assholes would tell your fucking friends about my fucking show and get a few of them on here. This show has continually just been paring away of guests, basically, where it's like we're purifying into a small cult of whatever. It's ridiculous, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to expect that too, honestly, of some of the regular guests. You guys need to bring some people onto the show. If you want to be regulars, if you want to basically hop on here and actually get something from the show, give me something back, basically. Sometimes your guys' conversation is not really enough. I'll just be frank with that, okay? So that's all I'll say about it because I don't want to make value judgments about the guests. But please keep in mind that none of you guys are doing me a fucking favor. So you would be doing me a favor if you actually got me some new guests, some new panelists, some new friends for the show. You know what I mean? So all of you motherfuckers know somebody, every single one of you. So I'm going to start expecting you fuckers to actually pull your weight a little bit, honestly. And like I said, if it doesn't happen, that's fine. I'll just find something else to do. I mean, I can live stream by myself. That's perfectly something I can do. You know what I mean? Ladies and gentlemen, for the longest time, I've been clinging to this kind of dipshit idea of having a cannabis cafe online. It's never really worked out, to be perfectly honest. It's always defaulted to the lowest possible quality of conversation where we're just talking about growing, and it's never been anything like I would love to basically be able to smoke weed and talk politics with people, right? I would love to be able to have intelligent stoner conversations. That would be my ultimate goal, you know what I mean? And you can visualize maybe perhaps how far away we are from that goal by A, me begging you guys to hop on here. B, frequently dead air. Three, I mean, come on. You know what I mean? I don't have to describe the show to you. So anyway, I guess where I'm trying to go with this is hop on, ladies and gentlemen. You are welcome to hop on to the open panel. It's still a completely open panel. There's no requirements that you come on here. I will give the rules. There's some simple rules to follow. But you don't have to be a particular kind of grower. You don't have to be growing my genetics. Don't have to ever have been my customer. You don't even have to like me, to be perfectly honest. You don't have to agree with me either. In fact, I encourage disagreement. Not that I want you to necessarily disagree with me just out of spite, but my point is I encourage disagreement. It's very good for debate. It fosters debate. And when you can have honest and polite disagreement, you can really get somewhere in a conversation. You can open people's eyes. You can get your own eyes open. Many times in my life, I've had my eyes open through debate or conversation. I realize that that's a fairly unusual thing in our modern society. We don't really have debates, honestly. We have people yelling at each other, basically, or talking at each other, waiting for the other person to stop talking so that they can talk again, basically. This seems to be the case in our political discussion. It seems to be the case in regular life, on and on and on. Well, this one place on the internet or whatever, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do a little bit differently. You are encouraged, honestly, if you have a disagreement or if you have a different opinion or whatever, to hop on here and share that with us because honestly, I think that any decent opinion should be able to withhold, or how do I say this, should be able to stand up to scrutiny. You know what I mean? So if you believe, I don't give a shit what it is, Or if we believe one thing and you guys believe something else and you want to hop on here and challenge that, you're welcome to do so. Like I said, the rules are quite simple. Don't be a dick. Don't show your dick. Don't be a fucking lunatic. Don't be an asshole. Don't show your asshole, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be a douchebag or show your douchebag. Straight up. That's all. I have no tolerance for fuck pants, McGee's. Absolutely no tolerance whatsoever. If you're gonna act like a fucking troll or a douchebag or whatever, or insult the panelists or even insult me, you're just gonna get insta banned. This is something that I'm kind of amused by, honestly, lately with the trolls. And whatever, I guess I won't get into that whole story. It's kind of idiotic. But my point is, they say just the stupidest shit the first thing they say, and I'm just like, ban. It's so easy for me, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't emotionally affect me or something to ban you. So don't be a fucktard. Honestly, that's it. Just don't be a fucktard. Don't be a troll. Don't be a weirdo. Don't come on here to start a fight, and you'll be fine. I never ban anyone who's not a fucking complete weirdo, ladies and gentlemen. So you're welcome to chat. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear as little as a hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's always fun to hear from people around the world. Honestly, we get people from all around the world. We'd love to hear just a little hello if you're shy or if you're bashful or whatever the case may be. But we'd love to hear more from you if you're working on something, if you're growing something, if you're in the garden right now, on and on and on. I personally would love to hear the genetics that you're working on, what you're puffing on, et cetera, et cetera. One of my favorite things to talk about, honestly, is the flavors and the sensations, really, of the favorite flower that we puff, right? So it's really my favorite thing, not by any stretch of the imagination, is growing. Like I can't even imagine why people talk so much about growing, because that's one of the easiest parts of cannabis. That's one of the least interesting parts of cannabis. On and on and on. For me, by far more interesting are the flavors and sensations, the highs, on and on and on, right? So I'd love to talk about that kind of stuff with you guys. You don't have to be an expert. You don't have to be a beginner. You don't have to be anything in the middle. You can be any of the above, ladies and gentlemen. We just love that you hop on, and don't be a dick. Don't show your dick. Don't be a fucking lunatic. I'm going to post the link here in the chat. It should auto-complete the password, ladies and gentlemen. If it doesn't, then please do remember 420, 420. Sorry, I haven't caught up to the comments here in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Usually the password auto-completes as 420, 420. If for some reason it doesn't, just enter one big word, 420, 420. There it is right there. Once again, I'm logged into the wrong account, so I can't pin the link. I'll have to log out and log back in. So, folks, hop on here. We'd love to hear from you. Who's in the chat right now? Dankabus Kind's in the chat. Cheers, buddy. He's saying, cheers, Fumi and D. Good to see you, buddy. Bud Kilowatt's giving us the green light. Right on. What is he saying? When you say those things, I've learned that you say it, but you don't think you're just frustrated. You're not the type that quits easily. First time you said it, I was really bummed that it would happen. No, I get you. I understand. And I am, oddly enough, one of the last men standing or something from all the shows that started basically in, I don't know, 8,000 years ago, right? One after another, they basically peel off with time. It's natural. It's natural. And I don't know why I'm so committed to this fucking shit, but for some reason I am, ladies and gentlemen. So help me help you or something. I don't even know. Help me help myself or get something. I don't know. And ladies and gentlemen, make some of these shows a little bit easier. Help me find some guests for the regular shows. I want to do a lot more interesting stuff with my bigger channel. It's been basically languishing for the longest time. Honestly, we do one show on it a week, and it's just half the time, three-quarters of the time, it's just hangout shows. Because especially lately, I'm too afraid of getting reported and stuff, getting struck with the guests. God forbid the guest accidentally mentions their website, and those fucking trolls will get me stuck good. Not a great way to live, I have to be honest. Really makes you wonder how people can be so obsessed with one particular asshole on the internet. But hey, I guess they're just obsessed with my particular asshole on the internet. Where am I going with all of this, ladies and gentlemen? Basically that. Help me find some guests to get some more interesting shows. Give me some fun show ideas, for example, things that you'd like us to talk about as a group. I have some ideas for some of the other shows that hopefully will be very interesting. So I guess in the near future, I'll be asking for some show ideas for that as well. What else? And then, like I said, I am actually quite serious. Please do tell your friends, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be bashful. Come on, half of you guys know growers and friends, and you guys are sharing weed with each other. Tell your friends. Tell them to hop on here. Tell them to join the panel and tell us about their grows and everything else. I do mean it, honestly. And uh, I don't think it's too much to ask, to be perfectly honest, ladies and gentlemen. I give you a free place to hang out. I don't ask much of you guys. Occasionally, I bring up my seeds. Occasionally, I bring up some freaking coupons. I don't sit here and hammer my fucking seeds down your throat. No disrespect to Grandmaster level, but he usually just basically hawks his light. It's essentially a big infomercial, right? I'm not sitting here and infomercialing my fucking seeds at you all the time, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, seriously. Pull your weight. If pulling your weight is literally just finding some friends to hop on here, I would say that's a fucking small price to pay, to be perfectly honest with you. Ladies and gerbils, not too many other people in the chat, so I guess we'll just start saying hello to our buddies here. What's going on, D? Welcome, bud.
What's going on, everybody? Hope everyone's having a great week. I'm just hanging out. Cheers.
Should have asked you, how's it hanging? Just hanging. I spilled a little of this coffee. Not to worry, I'm a gentleman and I have a matching saucer. I love these cups. They came with the house and they're these kind of diner cups. I wish I had, well, that's not true. I actually have four. He left me odd numbers of stuff. I think he just liked some of it and kept some of it and didn't keep the others. Maybe he doesn't drink coffee. I don't know. But he left me some of the saucers for these. He left me some of the bigger plates and like two bowls, basically. So like by no means a full set. They obviously had like full sets of stuff. It was one of those kind of families that obviously they had Tupperware and stuff like that, right? Anyway, so I'm happy that he brought, you left it. I'm not going to complain or something, but I wish I had the whole set because they're totally like diner style, and I've always loved American diners. You know what I mean? Uh, what am I trying to say? I don't know what it is exactly about diners, but it's just very much my style of vibe and cuisine and everything else. It's obviously I like other kinds of food or something, but I love diners. And if I'll see a good diner somewhere, oh my God, you almost have to pull me out of it. What's Bud Kilwatt saying? I've learned a bunch of things about topics that I don't know much about, cameras, history, intelligent conversations with people who have different experiences that bring perspective to me. Yeah, bud, I appreciate that. And that's really what I'm trying to foster, and that's really what has been irking me that I feel like a lot of times we're not having these interesting conversations. Every once in a while we will, and unfortunately, it seems to be so exceptional in their rarity that I remember the conversations. They stand out. Like the other day I was talking with Jeff about just goofball shit, right? We were just having fun, but we were talking about ancient Egypt and the pyramids and a few other things too. But Love for the Plant hopped on. Then we talked about zippers it was probably the only grow related thing we talked about was fucking plant zippers or tent zippers. But it was a fun conversation. I think the audience really enjoyed it. At the end of the show, people were like, "Oh my God, great show!" Da, da, da. So I mean, it's not like we got 50 new subscribers or something, but we enjoyed the show. I enjoyed the show. I think folks that participated in the show enjoyed the show. So I would definitely enjoy having discussions like that again. And short of bringing some fun guests on, I can't think of much else. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's basically why I say tell your friends, tell your fellow growers, on and on and on, and invite them on the show. It's an open panel. I'd love to hear from. I mean, seriously, I don't have to shout. I don't want you guys to feel not shouted out, but picked out, picked upon. What's the word? I can't think of any words today. So I'm not going to say specifically, but like there are a couple pe people in the chat who've said, "Oh, I know this guy. I know this guy. I get clones from this guy." Tell them about this fucking show. Holy shit! We'd love to hear from these people. Holy fucking balls! And I can't imagine that if they like you and you like them and you like this show, that there's somehow absolutely no connection between the other. Like there's no, the Venn diagram of these people never coincides at all. Come on, give me a fucking break. So I'm sure these people would enjoy the show. I'm not sure because, come on, I can't be sure of anything. But if they're anything like you fucking idiots, they're going to enjoy the show. So that's what I'm saying. You find some more idiots for the show. Let's be one big idiot party. Uh, perfect timing. Perfect timing, Smash. I said, let's be one big idiot party, and Smash hops on. What's up? He's showing the boobage this afternoon, this evening. In Massachusetts, being topless is perfectly legal, right? I know it is in New York, Las Vegas as well. Isn't that funny? You could walk around, just boobies hanging, boing, boing, boing.
I literally forgot I was gonna jump on, and I was just shutting my camera off as you were letting me in, and I was like, fuck it, I'll just say hi, and then I'll throw a shirt on."
Well, you can always show off the tattoos. What's going on?
Oh, I missed it all.
D just needs a dab of oil. Uh, female friends of mine over the years have always complained, like, what the hell? Like, all these fat guys on the beach can just sit there freaking hanging boob, but we can't do shit. That's not fair. It certainly isn't. I always agreed with him. Um, it was an interesting conversation, like, I don't know, a couple months ago, maybe on Reddit or something. Somebody asked, why is it that women wear bikinis or fairly skimpy clothes, kind of in the entire Western world, because it's not just in the US or Europe or anything, it's basically the entire Western world, even Japan, honestly. A little bit different, I think, in China. Supposedly they dress kind of more modest, I guess, at the beach there. I don't know, I haven't been at the beach in China. But I thought it was an interesting question, like, why is it that, you see sometimes you go to Europe or something, you'll see dudes in a fucking spandex or basically a mankini or something, right? But really rare in the US. You would almost never, maybe in Miami or something, right? But you'd almost never see, even on like a gay beach, maybe on a gay beach, but you're not going to see basically on a normal beach dudes walking around in frickin' Speedos for the most part, right? And so an interesting question. Anyway, the answer was very simple. At some point, a couple 300 years ago, women's bodies basically became conceptually sexualized and men's didn't, whereas they used to be. Basically, like with Greek athletes, for example, it was really the men's bodies that were sexualized, not the women, honestly. So anyway, at some point in the last 1,000 years, I guess maybe in the Renaissance, I honestly forget that part. I feel like it was basically in the last couple 300 years, and ever since then, basically, it hasn't shifted back. And so now, basically, women are expected to be ogled, and if they're not wearing something that's kind of ogleable, that's weird. Whereas if men are wearing something that would be ogled, that's weird. And so men will wear baggy shorts and shit at the beach. That's totally normal, right? But if a woman wore baggy shorts at the beach, that would be like super fucking weird and she would stand out like crazy. It's very, very, very strange conceptually when you start to wrap your head around it. Because seriously, think about the last time you saw a woman walking around, maybe even just in like a bikini top and baggy shorts. That even would be super fucking strange. People like, what's wrong with her ass? They would suddenly be saying like, what's wrong with her ass? Does she have a terrible ass? Like, why are we thinking about her ass, right? But it's because women's bodies are sexualized. Nobody else is hanging with us in the chat. How many people do we have watching? 8 or more. Oh, we got 10. I almost guessed right. We have a whole 10 people watching. Folks, we'd love to hear from you. Hop on, join the conversation. Don't be bashful. Come on, seriously, ladies and gentlemen. We don't bite, not too hard. We bite sometimes, a little bit. But your mom likes it. Your mom seems to like it when we bite. Ladies and gentlemen, just don't be a dick. Don't show your dick. Don't be a fucking lunatic. Very, very simple rules. That's basically about it. What's going on, Smash? How's the garden been going? You harvested recently, didn't you? So have you reset already or what? I guess I forgot to ask you.
Wait, one more time. Sorry.
Oh, I was just saying, did you harvest recently and then reset, or have you harvested yet?
Yeah, well, I harvested. I probably got another plant and a half I have to trim. I got a. Last night I was on a rooftop watching the Yankees game, Red Sox. Uh, so this week I'm gonna finish up trimming up everything. I gotta make some pre-rolls and stuff, but I have stuff going already. Like in the veg tent, I just gotta up bottom and get them going. I gotta clean the flower room too. Let me put my
I'm excited. I'm finally going to get a harvest here in the very near future. Not the best harvest that I wanted to. For example, I thought my whole outdoor, because my whole outdoor was doing great for the longest time, but then I got Fusarium on now 2 plants, actually. The first plant I lost, and now a whole really huge plant was right next to it, I guess, and just got Fusarium, I think, as well. So I guess I'm just going to chop it down. I kept working on the whole area, and I feel like I actually have made progress. Like tomatoes no longer are splitting and stuff like that. In fact, a couple tomatoes. Uh, I guess I never talk about these other tomatoes. I have some tomatoes by the house, basically, and it's like in the same area, but it's kind of behind it, basically. Anyway, they've taken off like crazy. I don't know if they're gonna all fruit, but they definitely have some fruits on them. Anyway, when I first got those tomatoes, gosh, they wouldn't take off. The tomatoes that they already had on their sites, basically, when I got the plants, because I got like, I don't know, small plants, whatever. They all split, blah blah blah. Like the soil was terrible, like obviously terrible, and I've definitely made progress with that. So I've fixed the issue. I think I've fixed the holes in the submarine or something. But the damage is done. So anyway, I lost a couple plants, but I still have enough, I think. So it's definitely going to be and I have other stuff in the works, so it should be fine. It's just been so long. I remember you Smash talking about jar anxiety, and I was like, God, it's funny that you mentioned that because honestly, for the last 2 years, I basically haven't not had jar anxiety. Essentially, there hasn't been one time where I've had like more than enough weed. It hasn't happened. My last harvest here was screwed up for the stupidest fucking reason. Um, I was busy with my puppy and I forgot to check the air intake for the tent. And so it was just basically sucking in through the seams for like a month of flower. And I couldn't figure out why I was having all these weird problems. I'd go in there because I didn't have much time to garden. I would garden for like 2 minutes at a time. And I'd go in there. I was like, why is this so hot all of a sudden? So cold all of a sudden? So this, so that, so that. And I just couldn't figure out what the fuck was going on. And finally I looked down. I'm like, wait a second. There's no fucking air intake on this. So anyway, the damage was done at that point. And that became just kind of a garbage harvest, honestly. One thing after another, just one thing after another. So finally, things are settling down. I'm gonna have jars. It's gonna be spectacular. It's gonna be like old times. And Goodness gracious, how long it has been. Because it's just been one thing after another. Moved twice in the last 2 years, on and on and on and on. Oh, it's just absolutely ridiculous. So. Cheers, Coffee Pot. Good to see you, buddy. Welcome. Hardcore's in the house. Welcome, Hardcore. Soon to be movie star, ladies and gentlemen. He'll tell you what kind of movies.
So
Who else in the chat? What's that, Smash?
the last couple of grows, probably the last like 3 to 4. There's always something happening. That's like I'm like, what the fuck? Um, this last one, a Herm, fucking. I don't. Yeah, it just seems like the last couple of grows have just gotten like I haven't paid enough attention to them, kind of
Hmm.
like you were saying. I
Well,
didn't feel
it
the
happens.
best. I let the flowering plants wilt too many times.
Hmm. Yep. I've done that too, and that's one of those punch yourself in the dick moments because basically that's what you did. You just punch yourself in the dick, and anytime you let those flowering plants wilt, gosh, you've probably cut your yield, your final yield by at least probably 20-30%, right? And then you open them up to pathogens and stuff. Like it's not like I'm criticizing you. I've definitely done it myself too. And gosh, when that happens, you just have to make sure that you're on it more in the future, you know.
Yeah, fucking
Nobody gets to point fingers at you but you know, really.
uh, camera. You know the camera store begins with an A. It's in New York.
Adorama.
Adderall. Yeah, is it good?
Huh?
I'm
Yeah, I
gonna
bought a
go
bunch of
there.
stuff from them. No, I didn't buy this mic from them, but I bought other stuff from them for sure. Yeah, they're reliable. A
Okay,
lot
I'm
of
gonna
people
go.
like them more than B&H. So the story basically between those two stories, New York has a ton of stores. Those are by no means the only ones, but the most famous ones basically are Adorama and B&H because for at least the last 20, if not 30 years, they've been basically doing what Amazon does, and they would do like free shipping to your house, da 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 da. Sometimes it's $100 and over. Sometimes it's only $40 and over. Oh, we just lost D. Um, Hopefully we'll get him back in a second. What am I trying to say? B&H is far larger, actually, and it's got like a superstore. Adorama has a store too, but B&H is, ironically, I think I've actually been to Adorama now that I think about it when I was a kid. But anyway, regardless. B&H has this amazing superstore that people are always raving about because they've got just literally everything there, and they've got this whole warehouse that's all computerized and stuff. Anyway, if they don't have it, almost nobody in the country has it. I mean, there's obviously specialized dealers for Phase One and whatever else,
There's
but
another.
basically Hasselblad, but basically B&H has everything. They even have cinema cameras, you fucking name it, honestly. The problem with B&H is that people don't really like their owners and their managers. Both companies are owned by Jews, kind of very um, Orthodox Jews, basically. So they're always closed for Jewish holidays, for example. So Rosh Hashanah and stuff is coming up, Yom Kippur, they'll be closed for those. And for example, like the month of September, actually
Wait,
this
when is
month,
that?
if you look at their calendar, like they're closed almost the entire month, basically, because there's Sukkot and all this different stuff. They'll be closed for fucking days and days and days and days because they follow their religion. They won't turn on the lights and all that kind of stuff during holy days. Anyway, but B&H has a little bit of a history, and they've been busted for this. So unfortunately, I have to be honest, this is actually documented. They've been busted for discriminating against workers, basically. A few different scenarios, basically discriminating
What,
against
non-Jews?
non-Jewish workers. Yeah, just a bunch of different weird shit, honestly. And they've gotten busted a few different times. Now, on the grand scale of things, are they the worst in the country? No, by any stretch of the imagination. They're probably, I mean, like Amazon was worse, honestly, the way they treat their workers. But from that perspective, a lot of people prefer Adorama because they've got cooler people that don't have the same discrimination issues and stuff like that.
There's
So
another one I see. It's like KEH or something.
KEH is mostly a used company. They do have they've actually started selling new stuff. Okay, I can't swear to that now. I bought stuff off KNH too, by the way. But
They're they are
um,
reliable because like
they are reliable. Yeah.
okay.
There, if you get something used from KNH, it's going to be a little bit more than you probably would have paid, let's say on Craigslist or these guys these days. I guess
Well,
it's more
Adorama
Facebook
has the ones I
Marketplace.
want. I
Well, let me
haven't
just
seen
finish
it.
my thought real quick. KEH has such a good grading system that if they basically say something like a camera, if they say it's as new, it's as new. Like it basically must have come out of a box. If they say it's excellent with some scratches or whatever the fuck, like it will be exactly what it is. They're better than, for example, MPB. MPB is, I think, from the UK, but they do a lot of business in the US and they do a lot. They're kind of like KEH. They sell a lot of, I think they do rentals, but they sell a lot of used gear basically, but they're famous for kind of being a little generous with some of the grading. So you might get a camera and you paid $2,000 or $3,000 for this fucking camera. Mind you, this is not a 500 Smash Nose. These aren't cheap cameras. These are in the thousands of dollars. So if you buy a camera that's in the thousands of dollars and they undergraded it, fuck all the way off. You know, you don't want a camera that's got a dent or something's going to go wrong with it or something. Whereas KH, you're good. You're fucking golden. Like they're even guaranteed and everything else. So I really like KH. So if you're not going to buy new, by all, and honestly, a lot of the time you don't need
What
new.
about
So go ahead.
Adorama used?
What about them?
Is it they usually
Oh,
pretty good
super
about
reliable. Yeah, super
okay.
reliable. They have a used department too, and I bought used gear off of both of them, by the way. I bought now it'll take me a second to think about it, but I think all my stands, honestly, are basically from Adorama. All my light stands and stuff, you can't see them, but my flash light stands and stuff, those are all basically off Adorama. I don't know, I bought different stuff. Oh, they have really good because actually B&H and Adorama both, they're big enough. They have their own house brands of stuff, right? So I have the Adorama. I think I have a couple different soft boxes from them, and they were actually really good.
Hmm.
It's some I can't see it right now, but it's some brand that they basically exclusively sell. It doesn't fucking matter to be honest. But I bought a bunch of different random stuff over the years from them, memory cards, whatever else, you know. So I like them both. You know, I've been using B&H for so long that for me it's just kind of like I don't know. I'm kind of used to them. So I have to be honest. I still shop at B&H, but I understand why people say, hey, you know, I prefer Adorama, da 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 da
Yeah,
da.
I
You know.
get it too, but I'm new. Well, not. I'm kind of new to like buying online, like gear and stuff. I would
Oh, these
normally.
days it's old hat. For example, all the audio people, for example, if you ever want to do audio stuff, look up microphones. Dude, even cables, you know, like some of these cables will cost you $100, you know? So look up cables, look up microphones, mixers, recorders, whatever on Reverb. Reverb.com, I think is what it is. So that's a good place to uh, um,
Okay.
I can't think of the fucking guy's name. I just subscribed to this audio engineer channel. I literally cannot think of the guy's name. Anyway, he was just talking about this just the other day in one of his videos. It's one of these stupid YouTube videos, to be honest, but it was fun enough to watch that I subscribed. He was like 10 favorite microphones or some shit, right? And anyway, he's just talking about it. He was talking about how this particular microphone, brand new, is about $900, but all day, every day, it was a particular, it doesn't matter what microphone it was, but all day, every day, you can find it for like $350, $400 on Reverb. The fuck, you know? So why would you buy double? You know, like if you want the warranty or whatever, but most people don't really need that, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Huh.
especially with something like a microphone that doesn't have many moving or any moving parts, you know?
As long as they weren't in on like hardcore punk band, you're good.
Yeah, right. Fuck was I gonna say? So yeah, Adorama, B&H, they both have used gear. I bought lenses and stuff from them. Oh my,
They have a
um,
lens I want, an 18 to 135. I've been looking.
new or used or what?
It's used. I've been looking
Well, so
for
check KEH too. That's a great place to look. Let me
do they have a
think.
store? Or
KEH?
is it, yeah, do they have one in New York?
Dude, I think they're from fucking Chicago or something.
See, this is that little.
I'm
I
blanking a little
don't.
bit. I feel like they're from Chicago. Um, yeah, no, B&H and B&H, I think you can actually see the used gear. Don't quote me on, call them up first, honestly. But I'm sorry, B&H, not KEH.
Um, yeah, I might check out both stores while I'm there because I've
Oh,
never
do
done.
it just for giggles, dude. For people who love cameras, that's like Disneyland. I would go to both. And I'm not even kidding. I mean, it's one of those things. It's like anything in life. Either you like it or you don't, you know. And some people don't give a shit about cameras. You could set them in B&H and they would just be like, yawn, can I go to Nordstrom's or whatever? Or can I go get some sushi? But for me, dude, even if I wasn't buying anything, oh, I'd have so much fun just looking at all the different stuff. Both stores have all kinds of rare shit. I think it's B&H that has this super rare Sigma lens that it looks like a fucking Canon. It's like a 5,000 millimeter f4 or some shit. It's like a one-off lens that was made for some sultan in the Middle East or something, and somehow B&H got their hands on it. This thing got all this rare shit that you can look at basically. It's like an EF. It's literally here. I'll show you. Oh wait, I'm confusing these two lenses because there's actually a brand new lens that you can still buy, and I'm confusing it now with another lens that they have. Oh yeah, see what I mean? I need to go. I need to go to B&H myself. Fuck, what is the weird Sigma? Uh,
I need some
there
monopods
it
that are
is.
like, as tall as me.
Look at this fucking lens. So they have this one at the showroom, apparently. Uh, but this isn't the lens that I'm thinking of. But this is just idiotic. Like this is a real lens, by the way. This is not AI. That's a real lens. This is the
What's it
biggest and by
for?
far most expensive. It's a super long lens. Yeah, it's the Sigma 20 200 to 500 f2.8. So it needs a huge front element for that f2.8. Here comes Bingus. And f200 to 500s are already super expensive. It's a very niche lens, right? So anyway,
Damn, that'd be a
what's
lot
up,
to carry
Bingus?
around.
Yes, it would. Cheers, Bingus. Good to see you. Yeah, you'd need a monopod for that for sure, because
Cheers.
it doesn't have stabilizer or
Mingus.
anything. So yeah,
I need
you'd be in
I
trouble.
need a monopod that I can put my camera about my eye level.
Well, that's easy. Most monopods you can extend.
Yeah, I have one right here, but I think it's only 62 inches. Something like that. I need
Oh,
it to
they'll
be
have a
like,
ton. Just
yeah.
you're not gonna like you're not gonna like what I say again. I would look online to get a used one because honestly, you're gonna want a better brand. You're not gonna want an off-brand like the newer or whatever on Amazon. You're gonna want something like a Jitso or a Manfrotto. Manfrotto is the same company, basically. Jitso or Gitso, sometimes say it. It's French, and it's the Manfrotto group. And a lot of people think Jitso has basically fallen off in quality, which I haven't bought any of their stuff for a long time. So, in fact, the only thing of theirs I got used. Actually, I got a tripod of theirs I got used. But it used to be so skookum that basically to this day it looks like I just bought it. Like I've had it for legit like 25, 30 years, and it basically still looks the same that I got it. So like some stuff when you buy like a tripod, it just lasts for fucking ever, basically. But then again, I have a couple of Manfrotto tripods, and they have some scratches on them, but they're totally fine.
Oh, yeah. I just need to go. I was gonna look for one.
That's the place to do it, dude. And you don't have to spend a fortune for a good one. You can buy a good. Uh, I've seen them for as little as 100. Like Benro and stuff is halfway okay. And then if you get like a Manfrotto, you can get one for like 150 bucks, and the Jitsu one will be 250 or something. But and get a light one too. Get the one with the carbon fiber and stuff, because
Yeah, yeah,
you
that's
really
what
don't
I
want to
was
be
doing.
carrying a bunch of weight with you, especially if you're moving around really fast. What's up, Bingus? I gotta turn the ceiling fan on.
You muted.
Cheers. I was sitting at my desk taking a bong hit and I noticed you guys were live, so I thought might as well hang out for a minute and smoke some weed.
Hold on.
Cheers, chat room.
Cheers,
Howdy.
Bingus. Good to see you.
So how's everybody?
So annoying. Smash. This is a good example of a, well, you probably can't see it, but I have this shield thingy, basically. It's like a pop filter, basically, for my
Yes.
microphone.
Spit shield. Yeah.
No.
Spit shield, yeah, like it's actually good for pops, basically. But anyway, you're right. It is basically a spit shield too, I guess. But I
Or
didn't want to spend like $80 or whatever for the made in US nice one, basically. Like all the other stuff, the cable and the microphone, are good quality. But this, I was just like, whatever, bro. And I just basically bought it on B&H, I think, one of their deals of the day, and it was literally like $20, and I was like, boom, good enough. Well, guess what? It actually does kind of suck. Like I'm always having to adjust it. Whereas the nice one, it's got such a nice spring arm because I've actually messed with one in a friend's house. It's so nice that it stays in the same place every time, no matter how you move. I don't know why this one moves because I'll move things that are not part of that microphone, but then suddenly the thing is in the wrong place. Like it's in a different place. Somehow it's just moving. I don't know how to express it. But basically, it's the cheap version, so it is what it is. Like sometimes the cheap version is fine, but in like camera gear and shit, it matters, unfortunately.
You're
What's up,
into
Bingus?
camera.
What's pardon?
You're really into camera stuff,
I
aren't
am,
you?
yeah. I've always, I was talking to, well, I guess I was saying this about B&H. Like, I would literally, it's like Disneyland for me. I would literally go in there and just look at the freaking Hasselblads and the lenses and everything, and, drool over everything, obviously. But oh, I'd have so much fun, like all that shit in the same place. Because, for example, in Portland, there used to be probably 15, 20 stores that sold Hasselblad, Leica, all that kind of stuff, right? Because, photography was a lot more common, honestly. These days, there's basically maybe 2 stores that sells it, and even then, they really don't have anything in stock. So if you go to Pro Photo, basically is the one store in Northwest Portland that you would basically be able to find probably either brand. I've gone there before, and just out of curiosity, because one time I was like, oh, I don't know. All the years of my life, I've dreamed about Leica cameras. Maybe I should think about buying, which is a stupid decision. It would literally cost me like $12,000. It's ridiculous, right? But fuck, people buy $80,000 trucks. So I mean, a $12,000 camera is small in comparison, right?
Get more use out of
Half
the
my
camera.
fucking neighbors have these monstrosities that cost, with features, probably over $100,000, right? And I never see them driving it. Like they'll go to the grocery store or something, right? So
Yeah.
anyway, but I'm looking at this camera, and they didn't have the model I was looking at. They had, I think, the M10 instead of the M11, and then they only had one lens. They only had the 50 millimeter, or the 35 millimeter instead of the 50, or the 50 instead of 35. It doesn't fucking matter. I mean, in the end, I would have never bought it because I don't have the kind of fucking $12,000 for a camera and lens. Give me a break. But for 15 seconds, I was willing to consider it, right? Anyway, they didn't have that, and they didn't have. I was out of curiosity. I wanted to look at the Hasselblad. It was out of stock because someone had to borrow their store model or something. Anyway, it's most of and Portland's not a small city. It's not a big city, but it's not a small city. And I would expect that from Salem, Oregon, for example. It has like 200,000 people.
Eugene.
But Portland, the entire area, bro, well over 1 million people. You would think you'd be able to find either a Leica or a Hasselblad. Nope, not at all. Whereas in New York, gosh, you can walk into B&H, you can walk into Adorama, you can walk in, and they have True Audio. They have a few other places, so for
Well,
audio
B&H is
nerds,
the
on
true
and on.
candy store for camera related
It really
items.
is, yeah.
And it
And
has been for
they're
years.
not the specialists, let's say, for example, for audio, but they also have lots and lots and lots of microphones and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, but I think, for example, True Audio, I think, is literally just down the street from them. So, yeah. Anyway, New York is a freaking candy store for a lot of people, to be honest. Got that
True.
GoPro. Oh, is that the Insta?
Yeah. I just think it's funny.
Have you
'cause
seen
it's-
that new gosh, I
just
haven't
like
now that I
the
think
name.
about it, I haven't really watched those videos. Well, I've been trying not to lust over any gear anymore. Uh Insta Nano or some shit. Have you seen the brand new one that just came out? It's super freaking small. It's like this small.
The Go,
Maybe. Yeah.
it like can stick to a magnet.
Oh yeah,
Maybe
I've
I'm
seen
thinking of
that.
different ones. I don't know.
I've seen that.
Supposedly Insta is going to come out with a drone soon. I mean, they actually have drones overseas, but supposedly they're because DJI is basically gone from the US. So
Really?
uh-huh.
Huh.
Oh, it's a super bizarre situation. Nobody really knows what's going on. For example, people that have DJI drones already, all of us are wondering, will we be banned from flying them? Like literally,
Yeah.
we'll be banned from flying them. Nobody knows. Nobody knows.
There's no like this is why we're doing it.
Well, they're doing it for the pretext of national security, blah, blah, blah,
need-
which I don't
that
know.
needs
I mean, I've gone
studies.
back and forth on that myself because on the one hand, it makes plausible sense what they're saying, but on the other hand, you're just like, bro, have you seen the world we're in right now? And like the
Yeah.
fucking Doge guys are giving all the social security info to everybody. Like, do we really
I
care
think
about
they're
some
more
fucking
worried about the
drones?
drones though,
Yeah,
because
the Insta360 Go. That's the one I was thinking of.
What was that, Matt?
I think they're more worried about the drones is because it gives a like yeah, people they can track our phones and stuff and see where we are, but the drones give like aerial footage, so you can yeah. I get what they're talking about kind of, but at the same time, why don't they just say, all right, no more DJI, we're gonna make our own. Like I don't know.
So, Fumador, have you ever done anything professionally with your camera fetish?
Yeah, definitely took a lot of videos of your mom. I'm kidding.
Dude, I've been looking for those.
Oh,
So
I
I got to
forgot about
buy
this
them back
drone.
and go
Heyo.
down.
I've toyed with the idea of doing it full time, but I've never really done it full time. But I have definitely done some stuff. Um, what was I gonna say? I was gonna say to Smash, like those fucking prices, dude. I don't know if that's the tariffs or what, because the Insta360, even my version, the one that I bought 2 years ago, year and a half ago, it's still $300 now. And the Insta360, that's the three, the X3. Then they have the X4, and then the X5 is the newest. That's $550. When I bought mine, it was still current. I mean, when I bought it, the brand new one came out like a month later. It was kind of annoying, but I bought it basically to help me sell my house, and it did, so thankfully. But the price, it was on coupon, but still the regular price was like 450 or something, and so I ended up getting it for like 389 or some shit. I don't know. It was like the best deal that you could get that camera for at the time. And then the new one came out basically for the same price. It was like 420 or something with a coupon, something like that. And now these like $100 more. Shut the fuck up. Even that Insta360 Go Ultra was 450. Jesus Christ.
You know, Amazon's always it seems to be always cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are the retail prices. Like if these kind of companies like GoPro, Insta, you never like if you get
They're
it for
always,
cheaper, it's always because it's like a black market
yeah, no,
garbage.
they've always been high price. So, I mean,
It's like
They always have
my
been on the higher side. You're right.
yeah,
just like my vape though, like on the website, Yocan, they're selling my dab rig for 79.99, $80. I got
I
it for
gotcha. I know what
60.
you mean. The difference with like GoPro is that actually on their website they're usually a little bit cheaper, or at least they used to be. I haven't bought a GoPro for a while, but like if you signed up for their monthly whatever the shit, you get 50% off uh, accessories and batteries and da 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 da, and you get
I
discounts
really,
on their cameras and just whatever, So
in my
let
honest
us
opinion,
capture
I
you.
had, from using the GoPro to using the Insta, like I had overheating issues with my GoPro in the summer. Um, I lost some footage because of it, and it happened. It
I
happened.
wasn't. I don't doubt you. I wasn't super happy with my GoPros. I still have them. I haven't thrown them away or anything, but I don't really use them all that often because the batteries are so unreliable. I don't know. Like I
Yeah,
got
yeah.
all these
That
batteries because I got them for 50% off or something because I had that fucking whatever, and so I got the batteries for not too much money. So I was like, oh dude, I need a bunch of batteries. I spent I don't know, a couple $100 on GoPro batteries. They fucking last for 10 or 15. I'm not even kidding. Like they're supposed to last for a couple hours. They'll last for 20 minutes maybe, and then they're gone. Like it's bonkers, dude. I'm constantly changing batteries, constantly this, that. Really not all that happy with the GoPros anymore. I probably wouldn't buy another one,
I'd
honestly.
like to find a good camera that I could just clip onto my glasses.
but
So
just get
that
the Meta Ray Bans.
is that does it have a camera in it?
Yeah,
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the smallest camera that you could really use because there really isn't a
I got
good
it right
quality
here.
camera that you could clip to your glasses that wouldn't suck.
Is the Ray-Ban one decent
I have a
quality or
I have a camera on
Didn't you say, I think the newest version you said is 4K or is it 1080p? What is it?
1440.
Uh-huh, gotcha. Still,
that's pretty
uh,
good.
not too bad, yeah. Is your version the older version or what's the story? And
1080.
10, oh, so it's still 1080p. So you could still stream on YouTube and stuff like that. It'd be fine.
Plus you could put
Uh,
prescription lenses in that.
you can.
Huh. So
Yeah,
can
you
you
can.
see, I guess I've never thought about this Smash. So it's not AR, right? Like you can't see a feedback or anything. You are recording. That's what you're recording and that's all. Okay.
So, hold on.
You winking at us now? What is it?
You see it blinking? I'm taking
Yeah,
pictures.
Oh, no
Gotcha.
shit. That's fucking cool.
Huh.
So it's a
And
flash.
now, it's
And how
not
much storage does it have?
32
Megabytes or gigabytes or what?
gigs.
Oh wow, that's a lot.
Like a standard.
Does it have a built-in SD card or what?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's-
yeah. I had 50 videos on this at one point. I
Oh,
tested
fucking
it.
way. Huh.
But
How
is it a
much?
removable SD card or just built-in?
No, 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 no. It's built
It's
in.
the Apple style.
How much?
Um,
Uh,
How much?
depends on which style you get. They have the Oakley ones out now. I'm talking to you. I'm using the microphone in here, and you guys are being like fed
So give me a price range. I'm just curious what.
ears. It's like it's such a weird feeling that I can hear you, but I have no.
That's curious. So it's vibration to your bone there.
That's what
How,
you said,
how much?
Quebec.
Oh, sorry, I fucked up.
How much?
It's so weird that, like, with these, I can
I'll just have to
talk.
find it for you, Bingus.
And like I can put music on and you can hear it perfectly clear, but you don't have headphones in.
Okay.
But
I like that idea though. It's cool.
I can actually do the recording now. You see
I
how it's
better not
staying?
have to log into my fucking Facebook to look at these glasses. All right, so we're looking at
Oh,
these
signals.
Meta.
So
whatever
you're
the
just
fuck,
taking
what a
automatic
stupid fucking
pictures
name.
now. Wow, look at
No,
that.
yeah, I'm just doing a video, 3-minute clips.
AI glasses. Well,
Why is
The
this? Oh,
Oakley
that's
ones
why.
look
Hold on.
different. They're cool. I wish I had that color.
agree.
Those
It's
are like
like
the Terminator glasses.
I
It's
just
like
think I think it would be
Solid
very
black.
cool to have a pair or a camera on your glasses with a microphone and the whole 9 yards to where you could do a garden tour, get up close, look at things. I mean,
Yeah, that's true.
holding your
Yeah,
camera
that'd
all
be
the
kind of
time
ideal for this kind of thing, 100%.
that's why I kind of wanted them the most is when I go to like weed events. Like I'm gonna go to the
Starts at
Freedom
300.
look at
That's reasonable.
35 different types of weed. And now when I actually like open a jar and look at it, you guys see exactly what I see.
329.
27.
I'm honestly surprised they're so cheap. Huh?
I
They're gonna
was
go back down.
Too.
They're gonna go down
Because I mean,
too.
like when you think about it, regular Ray-Bans are because it's a whole Luxottica monopoly, right? There's a whole I don't know if you guys know about Luxottica or whatever, but anyway, the company that owns basically all of the glasses companies, the opticians shops, all of it literally is this Italian company called Luxottica. Ironically, they're one of the only monopolies that actually seems to make decent quality glasses. I kind of always laugh at that because usually monopolies suck garbage. Their version of monopolies, they just raised all the prices, so now everything is $200-300. So I was basically saying like, oh gosh, the fucking glasses that actually record and whatever else are like $300. Regular Ray-Bans are probably $150 by now.
I have the Skylar one.
I like
I
that.
wonder if it's possible to put Method 7 lenses in. Pop those in.
So supposedly the next one might have
Problem.
AR.
Say
Sorry,
that
what?
again, Smash?
The next ones might have AR involved in them.
Oh, so you'll actually be able to see
There'll be a
an
little
AR
screen,
overlay
yeah.
on your glasses. Interesting.
Oh, so
Well, no, I'm
no
talking about
fucking
like I'm talking about
Oh, those
like
do look pretty
Method
sick.
7 glasses for a grow room. The
Oh,
lenses. You
polarized.
can
You're
do.
saying that they would be polarized? Is that what you're asking about, D?
Yeah, no,
What
I'm
do you want?
wondering
What do you
if
want
they,
for them for the grow room?
He's saying it'd be cool if Method 7 did them, but
But
if you
They
for
can,
are
what
no, you
purpose?
can pop the
lenses.
lenses in.
You can use them in the grow room.
So, what's the purpose of having them different? I just elucidate these. Seriously, what was it that you wanted them to be in the grow room for? Why do you want them in the grow room?
I was just wondering if you can use the Method 7 lenses, pop those into
But what's so special about
Method.
Method 7 lenses? I don't understand.
Oh, because they're made for grow lights. So if you're gonna do a
Oh,
video in
because
a
they're like
grow
color
room,
calibrated. I
Oh,
gotcha.
okay, gotcha.
So for example, they have now I remember. Okay, so they have like HPS
LED
tune
and
Yeah.
and LED tune and whatever. They even had the blurple
right,
ones. So if you go in, they're essentially color corrected, so the stuff looks kind of normal. I gotcha. All right.
and you can do a
Uh,
video
you
off
could
it.
probably do that. You'd have to get filters, but that would look weird.
The
Hmm.
video looks great. Fucking amazing.
Hmm.
I'm very happy with it.
That's cool. That's good information. But I used to work for an optical lab, and I ended up being optician from like when I was 19 to about 22. Uh, but things have changed drastically uh,
Gosh, I
since then.
would never recommend a Meta product. Holy fucking shit! But at the same
I
time, if
usually
that's what you
wouldn't
want,
either,
that's basically,
bro.
I think that would be the product. What's that, Smash?
I wouldn't either.
Yeah, they
I
seem to
hate
be
Meta.
the only ones that we see that are working. When which reminds me, Bingus, you were saying, oh, too bad the local drone manufacturers don't start making drones. Yeah, that's a whole story, actually. There are some local companies. There were anyway. Some of them went out of business, but
Exo's
there are
still
American
around.
companies that make drones, but they've all basically either completely specialized into the government and military space, or well, basically that's all they've done. They've basically gone straight to that. So Skydio, for example, used to sell commercial drones, and their technology lagged behind DJI in most respects, but they basically changed their business model and now essentially exclusively sell to law enforcement, land
That's
survey corporations, and the federal government, basically.
that's
And
what
so their drones are
Parrot.
like 10, 15, 20,000.
Yeah,
Parrot is
that's
French, but they seem to have not like updated anything for a long
So
time.
they released like a thermal drone. They're doing the same thing, military aspect, and doing like
Mm.
thermal drones and shit for search and rescue now.
There's probably more money in it. Consumer electronics devices, people always forget the margins are more like restaurants than they are anything else.
Hmm.
So, you're getting a few percent margin
when you
in
have a
those same
contract,
prices.
you make a maximum profit. Uh,
Oh yeah, especially when it's with the government, so you can charge them for
exactly.
double for every bolt.
I worked for a timing company where we made timing devices like for speeches. Actually, the White House ordered several from us,
Oh,
Hmm.
but or sporting events, very very complicated, nice digital timers. And fuck, I forget where I was going with that. But
That you build them for $1 million.
fuck you.
1 million. You
It was
said
a government
$1
contract. No, no,
million.
no. He had a government contract. And so, dude, we didn't have to do much of anything except kick back, answer the phone, and make sure the guys that were building the stuff had everything they wanted.
Huh.
And the profits were amazing. And I answered the phone. I did all kinds of little shit. I was actually had on an ankle bracelet at the time. It's the only job I could get. It didn't pay well,
Hmm.
but it was fucking easy. Yeah.
Hmm.
And but government contracts, that's when I learned, fuck, that's the way to go. I go, where's your sales force? He goes, nah, you're it. I'm like, what?
Hmm.
You answer the phone?
I,
Yeah.
you know what I seen for me, and I don't know what company it was. I looked it up when I saw it, but I can't remember now. I seen a drone that never had to come down. It was on a wire,
Oh, yeah.
I've smoked
and
Uh,
some weed that you never came down
That's what they
to.
do for the control in Ukraine, both Russia and Ukraine. A lot of the
yeah,
drones are
they're doing
fiber optic.
fiber.
Yeah, such
But
a
so it could, yeah. So this did it had a charging cable. It could go up to like 200-300 feet. Had a wire at a base station, and it's basically for police. And they
uh,
just sit up there the whole time. And they did it at the fireworks. They had it
uh,
up the whole time, and they're just searching the crowd and stuff.
yeah,
And
interesting.
like
I would think something
supposedly
like
the
that has to be
cameras,
licensed. Yeah, 100% because it's like
supposedly
tethered
the
and stuff.
cameras
Yeah.
are so good that they do face like track, like not tracking, but analysis, like
Hmm.
IDing, face IDing in the crowd and stuff. Interesting.
Yeah,
It's
and
not really all that hard to do, to be
our
perfectly honest. And
privacy.
famously, China,
Oh,
like every time you're driving around, walking around, every single intersection scans you. It's like checking your social credits. It's creepy, creepy, creepy. But everyone, I guess, just is accepted. Well, they don't have a choice, honestly, in China. But that kind of technology is coming to America, thanks to Palantir and Peter Thiel. They're dreaming about that kind of stuff. The scary thing is the technology to do that has been around for a while. So if you have AI integration, you don't even have to basically have people physically looking for the people in the crowd. You just basically have the AI picking people out of the crowd. Jesus H. Christ, they'll know where you are at all times, what you're doing at all times. Super creepy.
So supposedly Walmart and Target have some of them like it some really advanced face tracking stuff.
I believe it. Target has famously had like the best they say one of the best intelligence networks in the world, actually, even compared to a government. I'm sure that's probably exaggerating, but they famously, like you say, as soon as you walk in the door, they have your entire history. They know if you've ever, God forbid, shoplifted, but they know what you're probably going to buy. You're muted, Bingus.
I'm just acting like this was the screen. All the information as you come in, just
Yeah, yeah, straight up.
Well, I know they're famous for building cases on people.
Yeah, what is it? Some states for shoplifting and stuff, they won't prosecute under $1,000. So Target will
Until
wait
it's a
until
felony.
you accumulate $1,000.
Yeah,
I mean, you
they
know,
wait until you have enough to actually do prosecution.
mhm. That's fucking.
And
It's always,
suppose
yeah, I don't know how to think about that. Like it's both funny
when
and
you
stupid at the
walk
same time. I
in,
don't know.
like if they know who you are and they're looking for you, they put you in the system and that you bing every time you walk in. Pretty much, they
Hmm.
follow you.
Hmm. Because that's the thing. Before AI, it wouldn't have made any sense to hire 100,000 camera watchers or something to keep track of everybody, right? So they would have only probably kept track of very, very specific people. And if they somehow, I don't know, because I guess AI now is only just a more advanced version of what we've already had, honestly. So they probably would ping, oh, such and such details, pings a database, and boom, all of a sudden, yeah, we know that's so and so, or we think so and so is walking through the store. Then probably it would ping one of the actual people, right? But now you'll just be able to send it to a computer. Nice.
Good one.
Hardcore loves the AI. Actually, that was a good one because Bud Kilowatt was a race car driver and everything. Yeah.
Really awesome. Yeah, I love AI.
That one
It's
didn't come
so
through
creative.
hardcore
You
for
can get
some
very
reason.
creative with it. Hardcore is the guy that kind of got me hooked on it, to be honest.
Maybe
So
hardcore's yeah, well, maybe your speed is lagging. Maybe that's why it's not showing up. That's really weird. Go ahead,
I
Smash.
use AI to like polish stuff off, like
Like what? Your mom?
help me like
You're
spell
not.
correct stuff and like
Yeah,
reword it so it sounds professional.
Apparently, what
I've
a lot of
gotten
people
into
do
that.
these days, they get their emails written and stuff, and a lot of times people will do it well. Sometimes people do it one way, so because some people can't spell, for example, and they'll just write whatever garbage, and then they'll have AI review it. But I've also heard the other way. Basically, people will have AI respond to all their stupid emails that they don't really care about, or just simple thank you emails. For example, someone was talking about this a while ago on like they sell on eBay or something. It wasn't hardcore. Anyway, somebody was talking about this, and they were like, yeah, every month I've got 100, 200 fucking orders, whatever. And I got to say hello or thank you, every single time. They just have their AI do it and they look up, basically, they look at the emails just to make sure the AI didn't say anything fucking stupid and then press send. And
Yeah.
evidently it saves them a tremendous amount of time, which, obviously is logical. Uh,
Yeah,
Um,
they've gotten a lot better lately, especially the song AIs. Like here, let me know if you can hear this or not. I'll try playing one here.
I
is it
use
one, hold on, before you play it, hardcore, before you play it, is
Yeah,
it something that you created? Because I have no
Yep,
patience
yep,
for any copyright strikes on this fucking
yep.
show.
No, yep. It's no completely generated by me
Okay.
or by AI, but I mean it is a one of a kind. Yeah, by me.
And away we go.
I
Didn't hear
like
anything, by the way.
I
it.
like big butts and I cannot lie.
I like the buds.
I think my dog just farted, which is actually unusual. I was going to talk about this the other day. Jeff and I were talking about dog food and like what we feed our dog specifically, and I forgot to mention that I give him yogurt almost every day, and it's helped tremendously with his freaking farts. Oh my God, he could clear a room when I first got him. It was fucking. He could clear paint probably off walls. Honestly, oil paint off walls. Motherfucker could strip rust. I swear to you. But like I kept saying on the show, I was like, oh, why does he keep eating dirt? Because he would eat dirt basically out of my pots and stuff, and people were like, oh yeah, he's trying to balance. He doesn't know that he's doing this, but subconsciously he's trying to balance his gut. And so I was like, oh yeah, that's logical, honestly. And so I just basically remembered, oh yeah, I could just fucking feed him yogurt. So I just started giving him yogurt, which I've always done with my other dogs. So anyway, he's right here. That's why I'm looking down. Uh, Long story short, he seems to enjoy it. He loves the flavor, like he just loves nice all the mustaches. He loves the sourness of the yogurt basically. And it's good for him, it's got protein and stuff, and not only that, it's got lactobacillus and whatever. So, I make sure to get a yogurt that's not like, I mean, most yogurt's not dead, right? I guess, but whatever. There's different brands, I suppose. And obviously I don't get one with sugar, like mine is plain yogurt, unflavored plain yogurt. So, uh the one I normally get these days because I don't know, it's local enough, I guess. Nancy's, you don't have to spend $15 on a yogurt, but just give him like a spoon of it in his food. He likes it a lot.
Right on. I have cats.
It's happening.
Yogurt probably wouldn't be good for cats.
They don't. See, my cats only
Obligate
eat one thing.
carnivores.
They don't like much of anything except the food that I've
Apparently, milk
hatched.
is bad for them. I don't know. I don't know where we got this cultural idea of cats drinking milk, but evidently cats are. I mean, kittens can drink milk, but evidently adult cats is bad for them. They're just lactose intolerant, basically. What's up, Jones? Cheers, buddy. Cheers, folks in the chat. Hardcore or coffee pots in the chat. Oh, I realize now we haven't said hello to Hardcore. Cheers, Sound Truth. We haven't said hello to him. Red Setter Farm hanging. What's up, Red Setter Farm? Which reminds me, I have not posted the link for quite some time.
So I
Excuse
went
me.
and took the train into Boston. Motherfucker, I was supposed to get into the city at 6:11 yesterday. I didn't get into the city till like 7:11, almost an hour late.
So you can tell that's AI because it looked like that cat was slurping the milk or like puking it back or something. It's very illogical what that freaking picture was trying to say.
So
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you were saying, Smash.
my ride into the city was super late, like an hour. But like I guess they made up for it because on my way home they didn't even check my ticket for the commuter rail. The subway was free after the baseball game.
Oh,
And then I went to the commuter rail to like take the big trip home.
I thought your fucking baseball game was next week. I thought you were talking about, did you already go?
Yeah, it was last night.
Oh shit. Oh, right on. How was it?
Amazing.
Huh.
I posted some pictures. You should check them out.
Right on. Who won?
Yeah, the Yankees, and they won today. I think the Red Sox need a break. I think that's the big problem right now. We're a young team, and we don't have a lot of deep deep reserves for players. You know what I mean? Like our second and third string are not good.
gotta wash them socks, man.
Too soon, Bingus. Too soon. They're still suffering.
So
That's
it
a
was.
shame. Although they did just win a few years ago, so it's not like because Boston was one of the longest suffering teams, right? Like they hadn't won in fucking 100 years or some shit, right? But they finally won a few years ago.
Yeah.
Baseball.
We broke that curse.
That's right. You called it a curse. That's right. That's what it was.
Curse.
It was Babe Ruth's curse.
There you go. That's
Because
right.
he
For
got-
trading Babe Ruth, and once Babe Ruth left, boom, that was
Alright.
the end. That's right.
There's
to know
a
somebody
there's a
who had a Babe
baseball
Ruth
player
card.
for you. That guy.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
So I was literally a block, maybe a half a block away on a 15th story roof where they have like a viewing deck.
Hmm.
So I could overlook into Fenway, and then you could have like the background of the city.
Oh, right on. Cool.
Actually, I could show pictures.
I was
'cause I
gonna say
could-
a lot of people I think don't know. Well, maybe at this point people know this, but I remember at one point people didn't know that Babe Ruth is either proven to or widely suspected to basically be the first interracial baseball player in the professional leagues. Basically, yeah, because I think his dad or his mom. Hold on, one of them was black. He was basically half black.
Okay.
He was kind of white passing, half black. What was the story here?
Little known
Yeah, I was kind of
facts.
surprised by this.
Super
Okay, so
cool.
I'm glad I mentioned it because when I heard it, I was told like, "What? Holy shit! You know
That's
that?"
that's news to a lot of people, I'm pretty sure.
So yeah, that was my view.
Oh,
Nice. I like that.
oh yeah, heck yeah.
Hold on, I got more.
That's what she said.
Nice.
Oh,
I
you
love when
mean
we go ahead.
best beer I've had ever?
What?
Boom, roasted.
Boom roasted? Right on.
That's a beer.
Like a chocolate porter or something?
No. So their hints, it tasted like strawberry and like coconut with a little bit of fluffiness. Um,
A
it
I'm
was
sorry, I
fizzy
was reading
drink.
this
Got
Babe
you.
Ruth article. What did you say? Chocolate with fluffiness, or what did you say?
it's it was like chocolate with overcoming strawberries with a little bit of like fluff marshmallow.
Oh, interesting. So like a
It
sweet
was
beer.
fucking delicious,
I
and if you
gotcha.
see it, you should try it.
I gotcha. You would love there's a brewery in Portland called of course I can think of the fucking name. Jesus H. Ballsack. I need to start taking mushrooms again. The fuck is that place called? Oh, it's on the tip of my fucking tongue. Anyway, the important part is that they also actually sell some really good Pilsners and stouts and porters. They're actually a good brewery. But they have these like these incredible, like basically dessert beers. They're like these strawberry, mango,
That's what I'm
guava,
into.
whatever the shit. Yeah, like 100%. And I have to be honest, I'm not really a fan of those kind of that style of beer. It's too cloying and stuff. But some people are incredibly into it. And in small amounts, I'll take it. But like in a sampler or something, but I can't have a whole pint of that, honestly. There was a time that I enjoyed those beers. So I don't know. It comes and
That's
goes, I
the
guess, right? But go ahead.
that's the Boston skyline.
Huh? Right on.
It's like right to the left, I guess, to from where the Fenway is.
Okay.
Really cool
Many
experience.
details of child into his parents' marriage.
Is that like, do you live around there or did you just go to do that?
So
What
I
the
know
fuck? Now
someone.
that the Wikipedia says, sorry, go ahead, keep talking.
I know someone that moved from Atlanta, and they ended up buying a house at this place or an apartment, I guess you would say.
Cool. Well, that view, I bet it's spendy.
And they were like, a lot of the time, people don't even come out and watch games and stuff. So she's like, I might as well just. She's like, I'm allowed 5 people uh, at a time. She's like, I might as well invite people to come watch.
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh, my house is a mess. It was my sister's birthday today for her party.
Well, happy birthday, sis. Happy birthday. Yeah, it is Saturday.
Okay, I'm not finding the fucking story, unfortunately, right now, but I'm Googling through here, Babe Ruth black background, blah blah blah, and okay, I have to mention that I might be wrong about this, but they're saying that essentially. Some of this comes from the speculation of the time. He had, broad lips and whatever his nose and so on and so forth. And he famously loved hanging out with black ball players, more so apparently than even white ball players. He
He's probably
dated
a
black
fucking
women,
talent.
etc., etc. All somewhat taboo things basically back then. What was I going to say? But it was long rumored that basically he had a black father. Anyway, now basically they're saying that. Essentially, it was like, oh, if I remember right, his mom slept with the fucking mailman or some shit. I'm making that part up right now. But despite his known background, rumors of him having African ancestry persisted due to his dark complexion, physical features, and empathy with underprivileged individuals. Da, 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 da. Anyway, whatever. I'm not finding a conclusive no. They are saying that his
Just
parents
look at
were
a
both
picture of
German.
his face. Look at a picture of his face. I can tell you if he's is genetic. All right, if there's a genetic drift there, you can very
Oh, I
easily.
don't know. I remember thinking that when I was a kid. Because I don't know, I think Babe Ruth basically has been the target of speculation many times in
Oh,
his life.
dude,
I
yeah,
mean,
there it
certainly he
is.
could,
Yeah,
right? And the fact of the
yeah,
matter is, all of
definitely.
us have African ancestry. That's the
Yeah,
famously ridiculous thing about racism. It's fucking absurd, honestly. We literally all have African ancestry. But anyway, he does have a little bit of an African look to him, I suppose. I
Yeah.
don't know. Anyway, but of
Yeah.
course, you could be Italian. And then
No,
again,
he definitely looks
same
like
thing. People in Sicily, for example, they don't just accidentally look like they might have some African ancestry. They do have Africa because there was trade basically back and forth, both with the Arab world, the Ottomans, the Levant, North Africa, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
my dad was dark. He looked like almost Puerto Rican or Spanish.
And famously, there's a huge amount of discrimination in Italy by the
Yeah,
northern
it was a big
light-skinned
thing.
whites against the southern
Sure.
dark-skinned, for example, the Sicilians. Famously, they basically felt like they had the boot on their neck.
Also, when my dad came over, he was first generation here. He got bullied more.
Mm.
Well, he didn't speak English. He spoke Italian. And he was super dark skinned, so they
Mm.
treated him. He was like, I got treated like all the Mexicans and
Mm.
all the Spanish.
That's why I fundamentally cannot see eye to eye with people who say, make America great again. And I'm like, which part? Where the Irish were considered black, where the Mexicans were considered black, where the Chinese were considered black, where the black were considered black? Like, what part of American history do we really want to go back to? Like, now I think is
So-
actually a little bit better than a lot of those times. You know what I mean? We can hang out with each
Yeah,
other. We don't
if
have to
we
fucking yell at each
didn't
other.
have-
So I or pretty
By the way,
recently I
welcome,
read.
Hardcore.
Thank you. I read the autobiography of my great granduncle, who's known. He's one of the people that takes credit for having started 4-H, because there's different like a couple of different guys in a couple of different states that kind of had the same thing going. But he's the one that takes the title because he actually was the national leader of 4-H for many years. Like he's the one that got it going, like got school lunches and all these things and fairs, like, you know, for just 4-H in general, like kids growing corn and being on the farm. It all started because he himself was a first generation. His parents were Swedish immigrants, and in the country around here, all the farmers were all immigrants. They were Germans or they were Norwegian or Swedish, pretty much. And all the kids in town were all the more proper, or they were I don't know how to say it. They were more prim and proper for the most, and all the farm kids at school would get made fun of because most of them, they didn't speak English, or they were first generation English, so they, it's very much their parents a lot of times didn't speak English, but they would just get made fun of because they were these dirty farm kids. All the kids in school would make fun of them. And what my great granduncle had done was, he knew that these kids had, potential, and they just had a different way of that they were worthwhile people, and fucking gave everyone a bag of corn and had the first corn growing contest because he knew that those country boys were gonna be, bringing the fucking heat, and like that gave them recognition, or made them so they weren't so looked down upon. And that's kind of how the 4-H got started, from what I gleaned from his autobiography. So it's
Cool.
kind of a neat story to listen to, or to
Yeah.
read about.
Read about your
Like I said,
roots.
if it weren't for COVID, I would have never known it, because of COVID is how I found out that the guy even existed.
Making a
But
positive out of a negative.
I have a brother, half brother, that my dad ended up having before he even ever met my mother.
What?
My dad never knew about him either.
I feel like that's not that uncommon.
No. I looked at my ancestry, like my dad had four brothers and one sister. I looked at the genealogy in each one. Back in the day, it was handwritten. And
Oh.
one of the brothers, there was no father. Which,
So what happened?
yeah.
I've done a lot of the genealogy research where, digging around in Germany, Poland, Norway. It's either Norway or Sweden. One of the two I think Sweden has a really good archives, but like even the Polish ones or German, there is I've only traced my family um ancestors back to like 1700s or like 1799 usually is like kind of where the like my fourth great grandfather's on all 8 fronts or whatever, like all stop at that dead end or whatever. But yeah, reading the old, I've gotten really good at browsing old handwritten uh Latin because that's what the clergymen or whatever when they making the record books would all be in this handwritten Latin, and some of them like took really great pains to where if they would have made a scribble off, or their if their fucking quill would have broke on their ink pen or whatever, they'd start the whole page over again because some of these pages are just like the entire book is just like pristine calligraphy, like fucking. And then what'll happen now? Say like you say the guy instead of being listed without a father, if it's a bastard child, it'll be their passage will be written upside down, or it'll be X'd out. Like they'll put a bunch of X's across it, and
Yeah.
that'll denote that it was and it'll say in there too that the Latin for bastard child or whatever.
Well,
But
my
they would
uncles,
definitely.
all my uncles were, I mean, I come from a tall family, but Uncle Charles was short.
I
it
mean, if
sounds
you've
like,
ever bred cannabis, you know that basically that can just be a phenotypic difference. You know what I mean? You can have definitely a short brother. And certainly in families where,
there
the,
was
the
contributing
parents are
evidence
super
of,
dedicated and they swear to God and country and everything that they've never cheated, you'll see phenotypic difference. And if you have multiple children,
I
you'll
don't
see
know.
one or two of them are taller than the others. You rarely ever see twins.
I
And then, of
just
course,
think that
the sex-linked
infidelity
traits
was,
come through differently. So a lot of
yeah,
times when you'll have a sister and a brother, the brother, for example, it might be super short, but in many cases that I've seen recently, I remember noticing the brother will be super tall and lanky, and the sister, same genetics, same parents, even almost the same age, same environmental circumstances, right? Just like in our cannabis circuit, same feedstock, on and on, right? And the sisters will, in the case that I'm thinking of right now, shorter and squatter, not fat or anything, but shorter and squatter, and then basically this long beanpole brother. So that's phenotypic difference right there with the same parentage. So you don't necessarily have to have a bastard kid. But I was just
My
thinking how brutal
however,
life must have
hey,
been back then,
hang on, I
Pardon.
gotta
Go
chime
ahead.
in because I think infidelity was just as rampant back then. It just wasn't talked about as it is
Oh, I'm
today.
sure. Yeah, no, I'm sure.
Well,
Sure.
Let me just add that. Go
they
ahead,
were really good
Smash.
at pulling out, if nothing else, or
Trying to
well, kicking their wife down the stairs or whatever. Like it was
kick the bucket out from the guy that's shorter.
it
But
didn't it
even
didn't it
still, I don't know. Out
wasn't
of all,
it
I
wasn't
don't
an
know, man.
often thing like when you
It's a
because I've
weird
read through
question. I'm gonna go ahead. What's that, hardcore?
because I've read through thousands of these book or these page these um records or whatever, and it's not that often that you see the upside down or the X'd out, but they do it happens.
Well, I was just gonna say, honestly, I was thinking to myself, what a weird question. I don't know if I could possibly answer this. I don't know if any of you guys could. I was like, how many bastards have I ever known? And I'm like, I've never really asked anybody, hey, are you a bastard child? So I guess I don't actually know. But I'm thinking to myself, that it never really like it's not like it used to be, it
No,
definitely never stuck out like
no.
oh, that's bastard Bob or some shit, you know what I mean? Like I've never, one of the neighbors didn't tell me, oh, don't talk to Sally, she's a bastard child or some shit, you know what I mean? Like it's never come up basically.
No.
But
And
the other thing too is
in any of the kind of I'm just thinking to myself like in any of the families that I've ever known, my friends that had large families or anything, nobody ever really talked about a bastard kid. Now, granted, I guess we don't really have those kind of conversations anymore, but I don't know. I'm just thinking to myself, how common is this really? So I guess I'm just thinking to myself in terms of history, like how really common are bastards? I mean, if you're an aristocrat or something, yes, probably. But I don't know. I
well,
don't
all
know.
it is
Generally, I don't know about
they're not
bastard
they're
kids all
not
over the
gonna
place.
they're
and
it,
all it
when
is that technically, I mean, as far as they were concerned, it's just an unwed mother,
yeah,
you know.
or somebody
Well,
that
but
went
yeah, but
astray.
hardcore people aren't fucking stupid. They would basically, you realize that you're pregnant within 1 or 2 months, sometimes within 1 month, right? Even sometimes in a couple of weeks, a woman will know. Sometimes they feel right away, right? So women are famously sometimes oblivious. They'll give birth on the fucking toilet sometimes, and sometimes they'll know the minute that the conception, right? Everyone's different. What am I trying to say?
But the other thing too
That
is
they
it
would
was
basically go on vacation, and when they came back, they'd be married and have a baby. You know, like the people weren't fucking stupid, and they would basically they would retcon, yes, we've been married for 2 years or something. Literally, people did this. They like the parents would save up everything they had and just send their kids off to the next village or wherever the fuck, so that they would just be gone somewhere. And then when they came back, oh yeah, we got married while we were gone. It was totally amazing. And then sure, because you know when you get married, you have a baby. Boom. So that's the explanation for the baby, because people just didn't
Is
want to
what I'm
have that
guessing.
kind of
Because
stigma. You know? So
they're
even more so, I'm
normally
thinking to myself, I'm
baptismal
like,
records.
but again, that's an example. That's not an example of being impregnated by some random person, because
Heck,
people were
now
aware of the fact that they might get impregnated, right? So they were cautious about how they did stuff. You know.
yeah, there wasn't a lot of
Hmm.
non-marriage pregnancies that happened because they got married young. I mean,
Hmm.
13, 14 years old, 15 years old, and they kept pushing out babies every other year until they were
Hmm.
fucking like my dad was the youngest of 13.
That's it.
My
It
dad
used to
had
be
a
so
big
common
family.
that there are, multiple. It's so weird for our kind of Western society. Most people don't have 8 children or something, right? But for example, that's something I noticed when I was in Israel. All the Arab families that I interact with, they'd all have 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 children. It was really interesting, honestly, because they still have this incredibly high birth rate. What were you saying, Bingus?
The,
I'm one of
the
4.
my
Hmm.
my dad had a large family, but my grandfather, he was never home. All right. So my dad was the oldest. He kind of was the ruling factor over the other 4 children. But my grandmother was somewhat promiscuous. And so it's not because it's only because she was a healthy woman, just like all healthy women today. All right. If you can get away with it, and women can do way better getting away with it than a man can. It's worldwide, and it's been happening since the dawning of man. I think marriage is the
I've
thing.
suddenly gotten very suspicious of my dog. I'll be back.
Marriage is the thing that has kind of tried to keep that in check. But how many people do you know are married today? You know?
But I mean, like I say, back then it was just more of a, and like I say, it's different everywhere too. But like just as far as the German, especially ones that I read a lot of, um, there were a lot of small communities. There wasn't a lot of big cities and shit. I don't know what I'm trying to get. Oh, what I was thinking about earlier was that because their baptismal records is the ones that I'm talking about.
Right.
And if you had a bastard child, you just wouldn't get it baptized. There would be no record of that child. That means that child couldn't get married. Technically, like there would be downfalls to
Restrictions.
that. But
That's
at the same
what
time, like it just wasn't common for you to get out of wedlock, or or there wouldn't be wedlock if you were pregnant. And you got married. There was just no other way around it. You know, and you didn't get. I'm sure there's a lot of divorce or not. Divorce by murder, you might say. Then a lot of widows.
could be.
Because you didn't get divorced. There was no divorces. So, but there's widows were very common. A lot of my aunts, like my great great grandma, she had 8 kids before she got married to my great 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 grandfather. Was like fucking.
So in order
It
to get
was
him
if
off
you're still
him,
childbearing age,
in order
yeah,
to get him
your
off
husband
her,
dies,
he
you're
killed
married
her. Huh?
again.
She killed him to keep him off
I
her.
mean, I'm sure that's what. Well, no, I'm not saying that happened with my family. I'm just saying, I imagine that happened quite a bit.
Anything you can imagine, I think,
But
has happened, my friend.
a lot of
In this world.
infant births too. Like the survival rate of kids was a lot less too,
It was a different time,
which
man.
gets
My
fucking.
dad was much older when he had me, so I had a
And
different
they
look at
rename
life
them.
growing up because of his stories were from the early 19th century, not from like the 40s, or the 30s, like most of the guys I grew up with. Plus, he was very heavy-handed. He actually I was his son, right? But he had it with another woman that it was not my mother, that was my real mother. And he adopted me to make it look good. And he never even told me that he was my real dad. I had to learn that afterwards when I grew up and could handle it, I guess. I don't know. So, I mean, shit like this goes round and round and round. People never talk about it. I don't give a shit. I'm pretty transparent. I don't hide anything. And back then
If
it wasn't that
anyone
way.
if anyone does want to fucking do some research on that shit, I suggest starting with a free ancestry.com
Yeah,
profile,
Yeah.
just to get kind of a taste of what it's like. But then you go to familysearch.org. It's ran by the Church of Latter-day Saints, the Mormons. For some reason, they're the ones that own. they're the
Supposedly,
ones
they
that
virtually
hold
baptize everybody.
the-
There's some people that get really butthurt about this, but evidently they secretly baptize every name they come across, basically. So they have this, like you're saying, this incredible ethnographic
yeah.
record of everybody that exists, basically, which a lot of people are deeply
They've
creeped
got
out about, which it is kind of creepy. Like, wait a minute, you're baptizing me against my will? Like, a lot of people are very religious, right? And so they're like, but I only follow this one God, not this other God, right? So anyway, whatever.
Yeah,
Things are way
there's
different.
a place called the Family Center in Salt Lake City that is like their big with the Lucky Mark, where like they went and like before every war and before all these crises, they've got this. I mean, the warehouses must be. I can only imagine how big the warehouses are. The
Digital.
actual hard
Digital.
files that they have. They basically went to every country and they got all the church books and they brought them all back to Salt Lake City and they've been digitizing them ever since.
Yeah.
You can spend every spare minute of your day volunteering your time digitizing records where you just read through old Latin scripts and type in what's on there so it can be searchable on the internet. But familysearch.org. If you know what your grandparents' names are, a lot of times if you luck out and if other people have worked on your tree, because once you get like 2 or 3 generations old, you get a lot more cousins than you realize. There are a lot more relations or whatever. Because like when you get to your fourth great grandpa, you've got fucking you share thousands of fucking relatives or whatever. But if one of those other people had spent the time to actually build that tree, like for like my aunt, for instance, my uncle's wife, I was getting pissed off because all my research or all my family trees end at like the 1790s or something like that, and hers it just so happened that the right people had traced it back where within half an hour of typing in their name, I told her who her like 18th great grandparents were, like in the 1300s or something like that. It's crazy. It could give the definitive link between her and Charlemagne and these things. Like it's fucking a lot of those, the record you can go back that far. I found my last name back to 1583 in written records, but
Has it gone as far back as
yeah, I mean, like
bacteria
even
yet? Or
just recent generations, you can find birth certificates and marriage certificates and shit too. They have on there, and
Well,
yeah,
I think I might have a
pretty
few
neat.
out there that I haven't heard from, and I hope they don't find this site and come knocking on my door. I'm just joking.
I was just thinking about are there any privacy
Never a birth record.
implications to
Record.
this? I mean, I guess there could be, I guess, because if they
You're not supposed to share living people. But you can have them in your tree to build your tree, but it will be from other people's point of view, it'll be private. But sometimes what I would even do is I would name a living person dead just to show that tree or just to make it public, kind of. It's hard to say, but yeah,
Okay.
there's somewhat privacy too. But once deceased, though, that's a record. I mean, it's a
it would be
Yeah, it's
interesting
kinda
to
crazy.
trace yourself all the way back to your
Or
origin.
if you want to
Wouldn't
know
that be
how
weird?
your grandparents died.
To go all the way back
Like,
to
you know-
the origining genetics that you're made from. That would be quite a trail.
Well, you'd have to go back to Africa.
Well, we all go back to the
basically,
same
that goes
thing.
back basically 50,000 years, and then we all go back to Africa, pretty much most of us. Some of us, they say that there were like 2 or 3 waves of migration out of Africa, technically. So anywhere between 50 and 100,000 years, I guess we could say. And then all of us were in Africa and different tribes there. So I don't know. It's fascinating, honestly, when you think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, how
mean,
far
even-
back do you trace? And
not
why
even
do
just
you
our
only
species.
care, just conceptually, why do you only
Yeah,
care
exactly.
1,000 years back and not 10,000? Why not 100,000?
Exactly. All the
Obviously
way.
we
It's
can
not
only
even
prove so much,
just
so it's
our-
kind of a rhetorical question.
species.
But what's that, Hardcore?
I mean, is there how many percent of people have Cro-Magnon or not Cro-Magnon? What's the other fucking
Neanderthal, they say
the other?
almost
Not Homo
everybody
sapiens,
that
Neanderthal.
doesn't,
Yeah, how many?
almost everyone who's not native African and still lives in Africa. If you are native African and have no admixture of any kind, you might still basically have no Neanderthal because evidently, with the exception of Arab populations in North Africa, for example, so anyone who's mixed basically with the Arab, because the Arabs colonized all of North Africa basically, and then fucked their way through it essentially. But native Sudanese, for example, natives from Chad, native Nigerians, etc., apparently have no Neanderthal. Excuse me.
the original strain.
I mean,
Hmm.
and how many of them fuck sheep that didn't have kids? That's the scary part.
No,
I
it's an
don't
interesting
know.
thought too, though, right? So why is it's a question that kind of answers itself, but it's an interesting question. Why is it that the Africans don't have a Neanderthal population, but everybody else does? Well, it's another basically nail in the coffin of people thinking we did not migrate out of Africa, or more specifically, we did. We evolved in Africa and then migrated out of it, basically. And then, of course, some people stayed there, but the rest of us basically left. And this is one of the reasons why racism as a concept is just so fucktarded beyond all conception because every single human being that left Africa, and mind you, we all fight with each other about the color of our skin and our languages and this and that and the other thing for fucking thousands of years now. We've all butchered each other. We all are essentially genetic clones compared to the people that stayed in Africa. Because whenever you have the original population, you have the most genetic variety and the most genetic diversity. And so, still to this day, there are villages across the road from each other that have more genetic diversity in Africa than entire countries in the US. And you can pick any country. You can pick Japan and Finland. You can pick Spain and fucking Indonesia. Doesn't matter. All of them have less genetic makeup than even individual villages across from each other in Africa.
So why is
The
Another
that?
bigger picture,
because
Why
we
isn't
is
there
it?
evolved in
50%
Africa,
of our
because
genes
that's where
with
the
Okay,
basically
okay.
we cleaved off. Essentially, we did a selection. So when you do breeding, we did a selection, which basically cleaved off. For example, my Black Prince Ruby is the strawberry version of the Ruby Jack lineage.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
1001 Nights was basically
that's
the people that
racist.
stayed in Africa in this metaphor, and so it has the broader, the majority of the genome, basically the much higher representation of phenotypes in the grapefruit lineage, versus the strawberries were already only 25 to 30% basically of the Ruby Jack lineage, and I cleave that off. And so in this metaphor, it's a metaphor. I mean, it's obviously not the same story. The Black Prince Ruby guys were like, "Fuck this! We're out of Africa. We're gonna go hunt bison, or we're gonna go hunt fucking those elephant creature looking things. Those look rad. They look really tasty." And they fucked off basically, and they have less genetic diversity as a result of that.
Okay, all that true. Could it not have been also the fact that uh ge the geo I mean the Earth split up into different territories. Africa was once a much larger continent, and then it kind of dissected, or the sea came up, right, and kind of
We came
separated
out
us
a
a
lot
little
after
bit.
that, I believe.
So I think that what you're saying is
There was
true. I
humans
think
around when we had it.
in the
You guys got to
beginning, I
wait
think
because when you guys don't wait for a second, I can't hear you both. Hold on a
when
second, hardcore.
when in like the beginning of humanity, I'm thinking of so far back that the land masses were the plates were different.
Oh, we didn't evolve that far back. No, like we didn't evolve
Yeah,
in
no.
geological time. We evolved in what would you even express this as? I don't even know. Human time. So like we haven't seen any rivers get carved through. We haven't seen any canyons carved. Like humans have never. We haven't been around that long. Humans, recognizably modern humans, have only been around for about 2 million years. So to actually have like continental drift of any meaningful significance, you'd have to go back like 100 million years, basically 50 or 100 million years.
Well, what
So
about
honestly, I
okay,
don't think that affected
so
us.
how does that how okay add in the methylitic structure that we find all over the world? All right. I'm assuming some
Pangea
form
broke
of
apart 200
I'm
million years ago.
I'm thinking that some form of humanoid created them. Maybe they were larger or whatever. Whatever the reasoning for the methylitic structures that are dated
What is
back
a
farther,
methyllithic structure?
like Kinku.
The giant piers or the giant pyramids even or any
Oh, we were talking about that the other day. Like those are actually well documented. I mean, for something that's fucking 5,500 years old, those are surprisingly well documented. But we have pay stubs and shit for the workers. Like they were built, like the pyramids were built, and people actually have documentation for this.
They
Like
got
the
paid
the
in
shit in
salt.
Chile, the what is it, the
What's
Toltecs
the
and the
one
Olmecs and stuff. That shit,
back
like we have
in South
documentation for that.
America where the just the huge stones that are put together with
Oh,
precision?
I guess there's different. You're
The
thinking of
remains of
the
the Aztecs.
you're thinking of the Machu
Pinkachiku or
Picchu,
something?
Machu
Machu
Picchu.
Picchu, yeah, thank you.
But remember, people talk about it, like historians talk about this online. Remember, that was the Inca were I think, the largest empire in the history of the North and South Americas, but until the Spanish came. And they had a population at the time, which, mind you, the entire Earth only had a population, I think, of like 200 million people at the time, about 600 years ago, 800 years ago. I guess it was more than that. Maybe the population. No, yeah, the population of the Earth was something like 200 to 400 million people, I think, like
Okay, so
800 years ago.
what's
So anyway,
caused this?
they
I
had an
mean,
empire of about 12 million people. You mean to tell me that they
And they were
can't
only
find a
around for like
few
100
hundred
years.
stone carvers out of 12 million people? And that was literally their religious capital, by the way, the Machu Picchu. So it's like when you think about that kind of stuff, it actually seems quite reasonable. It's an empire of 12 million people that they built the city over a few hundred years because it's literally their
No,
religious and cultural capital. What's that,
so
hardcore?
they were only around for 100 years,
No, the Incas were around longer than that.
from
so how
1438 to 1555.
how do you explain the
Come on, come on.
diversity with all the different races then, if what you're saying is true?
Well, no, maybe 300 years,
Oops, I just
from
clicked on the wrong
1200 to
thing.
1500.
What
So
are you trying
yeah,
to say? How do I describe the diversity of what?
Well, you have like seven different diff, seven phenotypes.
Uh,
Okay, so how did that happen?
Jesus Christ, what was I just going to search? My brain is like going in two different directions. I'm trying to answer your question while also
how
searching the
long
other
the Incas
thing.
were around.
How long? What was that, hardcore?
How long the Incas were around. But it was,
Incas,
you were going to
Incas. There
search
we
how
go.
long the Incas were around, but it was 300 years.
Ah, gotcha. See,
Got
that
two
sounds
guys
more
I
hitting
reasonable.
you,
love slingshots.
double shot.
And how do I explain? Oh, I always forget it. It was really right by the coast. How
I'm going
interesting.
to share a link in chat that's the story of the Aztecs as told by my favorite fucking professor, Roy
That was the Inca
Casagrande.
Empire. There.
Dude's got, I've watched
I
like
always think of it like right
dozens
there.
of hours of his speeches. He fucking does classes or, does these speeches on like the conquest of America and fucking the Spanish one, the Aztecs one is really fucking cool. And like in 2 hours, you get a lot of info. I mean, like,
Problem with a lot of the history podcasts, you got to be really careful because there's a huge amount of history dipshitters, and like a
well,
lot of
this guy's
fucking
legit.
guys that just make shit up. Like
Oh,
it's
this guy's
really
legit.
problematic. What's his
He's
name again?
Roy Casagrande.
Oh, I don't know the name. Right on. Well,
He
maybe it's a
teaches
good sign
at
that
the
I don't know the
Austin
name.
School or something like that, but he's he's starting to get internet fame now. Like he's starting to build up a lot of viewership. But I mean, he's got so many speeches that I've watched that I've over and over again,
It's
where
a guy
like
that I watch.
just
Oh,
ones that were about how money was made, or ones that were he specializes in Middle East or in yeah, middle in Arabian and whatnot, Middle East conquests and shit. But yeah, just I would suggest to go to his YouTube page and just watch, sort them from like most views or something like that. Just watch them all. Like this Aztecs one, it's a 2 hour thing that's got 888,000 views, but it
there we go.
shares the
That's the one
story of
I'm looking
how
for.
of the Incas, there's the Aztecs, they're fucking there's ones that are like the conquest of South America that talks about how we're lied to about everything, as far as Christopher Columbus and all that shit, and fucking tells you the real
I'm
story
just
behind it. And
curious how all the different races derivative and came from the one race, I guess,
Well,
like
like I
you
said,
have.
the concept of race is pretty foolish because, like I said, the actual genetic diversity between, let's say, Japanese people would say that Asian people are our race, right? Like, so you were saying, you could argue that. You could argue that we have a phenotypic difference, right? But I actually sometimes think about this. I'm like, oh, does a dog actually give a shit between a Chinese person or a Korean person or anything else? And I think the obvious answer is no. They really couldn't care less because to them, we effectively look identical. And that's kind of where I'm getting to, that the phenotypic difference between a Japanese person and a Finnish person is essentially essentially what? They have slightly different eyelids, and one has black hair and maybe a little bit different color of skin, and the other one has maybe blue eyes and blonde hair, for example. Like this is a tiny genetic difference when you think about it. You could barely
We
even
share
select cannabis plants that way. When you think about it, literally,
we share
they're
50%.
slightly different. Let me finish my thought, Hardcore. You're
Sorry, yeah.
slightly different colors, and you have slightly different pistillate hairs, and maybe the sugar leaves express a little tiny bit differently. Are you telling me that this is an entirely different line? Like people would laugh at you. They basically say this is a related plant essentially, if not even a fucking BX of itself, basically.
Like a
So where I
human,
was saying is that essentially there is no such thing really as actual races. We've delineated people into Asian and what subcontinent Indian and da 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 da. Da. But for example, Indians famously are surprisingly to many people intimately related to Europeans. We actually share the Indo-European language family, basically, that essentially comes from. It doesn't fucking matter the old history, but long story short, we are related very very closely. And actually, people have done some very interesting portraiture of this, by the way, where they've gotten, for example, Indian families and switched the color in the picture, for example, done black and white photography and then done false color and made them look white. And they'll look, for example, you'll assume, that these people look so characteristically Indian, but they'll look like English people in a sari and in Indian colors. So what I'm trying to say is like your mental conception of how different those people are is actually not as baked into reality as reality is. Basically, the phenotypic differences are teeny tiny. I'm not explaining this well, I realize. But
Yeah,
what I'm
he's got
here, let me
some.
find photos of this so that you don't know what it's. I'm actually not
I'm gonna
bullshitting
jump off. I hope you guys have a good night.
you. Later, Smash.
Be safe.
Later. Yeah, this Casagrande guy, he's got a lot of his tales. He'll say something like, "Yeah, you get a Uzbekistani and a North Singaporean, and you have them speak their dialect or their languages together, and they can understand each other because they're part of this family group or something like that." And like, yeah, goes into the weeds on some of that shit pretty deep. No, I think you'd like a lot of his videos too. A lot of his ones about the Middle East, especially.
Oh, I'm not finding this at all. Dang it. I swear to you, I'm not making this up. There was basically a photo project where the guy basically took photos of not only just Indian people, he did around the world, but one of the kind of the funniest parts was Indians and basically used false color to basically make them look like blonde, blue-eyed, whatever. And their facial features did not look foreign. And that's, I guess, where I'm trying to go with this, that your brain thinks that, oh, if you change the skin color of an Indian person, he's suddenly going to look super weird. No, they just end up basically looking Portuguese or something. They look freaking British because even the mustache and everything else, mustaches exist all over the world. But like in your brain, oh, an Indian guy has a mustache. Well, so does an Italian guy. So does like an Italian cop or a French guy, for example, right? I don't know. I might not be explaining this very well.
so
But the,
if,
the concept of race essentially is nonsense. The concept
okay,
of
okay,
nations, for example, I think that's reasonable because people have individual cultures, the
that's
Finnish
not,
culture and
let's
whatever else.
keep it
Pardon, go ahead. Go ahead.
genetically. Okay, what I'm getting at is since there is no real genetic separation except for a minute amount of DNA between us, why is there so much separatism? Why is there so much separation and so
That's
much
just kind of the human
ideology
fight over
move over
resources. Yeah.
races and stuff like that? Why is everything today about race,
Hmm.
especially today? All right, if what
I don't
we're
even think
talking
it's,
about
if
is
people think
truth.
it's worse today. I think it's actually better today. I think people don't realize that we've actually not solved, but we've gone through some of the worst parts of the whole racial segregation, everything. Remember, people are alive today, people your age, Bingus, that went through segregation. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's not like a thing that was in ancient history. It's recent history,
oh
honestly.
yeah.
So I think today oh, why is it all in the conversation all the time? I think it always has been. And I think it was worse in the past than it is now. So it just is one of these things that it's just a societal problem we have to deal with. Um, I don't think there's a simple answer, to be honest. Like I think that's a complex question, and I don't think that when I give an answer, like the temptation would be like, oh, because we just like to fight over resources. And I think that is a simple answer that works, but I think there's a lot more into it. There's uh They say that, for example, this guy that I was just about to show you his channel, he's talked about agriculture and the advent of agriculture and how basically there's this line between grave sites, because he's an ancient history expert, I think, by trade, and in ancient history, you don't find mass graves. I mean, there is apparently a mass grave from like 10,000 years ago in Sudan, I want to say. But generally speaking, when we started to settle down and have agriculture, then is when we actually started to become incredibly brutal to each other. And essentially, I guess an easy version of that explanation is once you become tied to the land, several things happen. Inequality builds, oligarchy builds. You have an interest in protecting your land from other people. Other neighbors have an interest in raiding you if their farm crop went badly or if they're just bad farmers. Yeah, it becomes all about the Benjamins. You know what I mean? Whereas before that, fuck, if you're wandering around, you might be friends with all your neighboring tribes. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, bro, we saw some great deer down the way. You should go check them out on your way to the mountain that will rendezvous with you. You know, like there may not have been a reason to have conflict.
Now, could it be as simple as we've been indoctrinated into systems of belief versus considering empathy and understanding when we communicate? We're always pounding the hammer of this is what we believe or I believe versus this is
Yes,
my
I agree with
understanding.
you. Yeah, and my something I've been talking about for years. I don't have a chance to talk about it very often, so thank you for bringing it up. But basically, I think that in my case, I'm an atheist. I think that religion has been one of the more negative forces in human history. There's a lot of people who say, "Oh, religion brings me peace," and blah, blah. Well, I think for every person who it brings peace to, I think it brings war to 10 more people. Honestly, and I'm not exaggerating. Maybe even 100 more, because through the history of humanity, religion has been used as one of the biggest pretexts to kill an enemy, essentially.
Separate,
You're on God's side, they're not. You know what I mean?
separate,
Every single religion, basically, it
Yep.
seems like has done this.
That
Uh,
separation.
that
Go ahead.
Casagrande gets into. He's got a three-part series for the Crusades that
Hmm.
is worth a listen to. It's probably about 6 hours worth of.
Well, fucking, I'll
It's
check him
lectures too.
out.
It's not like a video, or it's not like a Dan Carlin's Hardcore History. It's a professor teaching a lecture, doing a lecture, but he does them all off the top of his head. All the lectures. He doesn't have um a set. The guy is full of knowledge. I mean, he knows a lot. He's got
I,
to be one
it,
of the smart.
the,
I don't
to me, it seems like, and I could be wrong,
Dr.
but
Roy
we're
Casagrandes.
struggling with a social system of separation. Uh, and we've kind of been indoctrinated into keeping it held together through various belief systems. And our first thing that comes to mind, just inherently, because of our indoctrination, is the fact that we have to express, this is what I believe, all right, versus this is my understanding, what do you think? All right, one shuts the door, the other one opens it, and geez, I'm getting hit by
I like to say
spiders.
I'm agnostic just for that fact or whatever. I used to say
I just,
atheist, but I don't
but
know, so I can't
is it
say that.
not programmed into us? Is what I'm getting at. This
I'm sorry, is
separation,
what programmed into us?
uh, belief. I mean, the fact that we're separate, right? That we have racial differences, that we have opinions that are held together through deep core belief
I don't
systems.
personally think so. I mean, I'm not the fucking ultimate arbiter of anything, but I don't think so. I think that these are, how do I put this? I think societies, I think people don't realize this because they don't sit back and think about this. I think societies can and do frequently make terrible decisions and stick with them no matter what. Uh, you can look around our society. There's a lot of inequality built in. There's a
Agriculture.
lot of different systems that don't work really well, but we have no intention of changing them. You know what I mean?
I
What's that,
believe,
hardcore?
I said agriculture,
well, it's
money.
held together by a belief that that's as good as it's going to get, and that's the way it's going to fucking stay. All right. Instead of asking questions, how can it be improved? How could it be more flexible? How could it be more
How could we
empathetic
improve our
towards you?
society? Yeah. How could we
Yeah,
basically, for example, reduce inequality, et cetera, et cetera. But for
exactly.
example, we can't even agree on concepts that we would
Of
want to
course.
reduce, right? Some people would want to focus exclusively on taxes and others would want to reduce inequality. We already can't agree, right? And so, for example, I guess I was going to say that our systems of society have not always been like this. There's some very interesting books now. There's a really cool book that I've only really gotten halfway halfway through, so I don't know how it ends. But spoiler alert, we're here. It's called The Dawn of Everything, and it's kind of a reimagining of history, basically, through a different lens. And it turns out there have been a lot of times where humankind, it's not a straight line throughput through history. For example, there were times where we developed agriculture and gave it up. And developed it again and gave it up because it made sense at the time to do it for a little while and then give it up for a while. And there were all kinds of technology like this that would get like invented and then kind of fall out of use because maybe they just weren't needed anymore, and then maybe even forgotten about, and then had to be reinvented somewhere else. There's no Smash was saying like, oh, when do we hit the reset button on our political system? There's never really a reset button. You just kind of wind your way through history like a fucking river, and just like a river mindlessly winds its way through a fucking canyon and just finds its easiest level. That's how our society oftentimes works. So we just kind of perpetuate stupid situations without ever really having a chance to get rid of them. It bugs me, like we have a lot of really stupid behavior in our society. Like you say, fighting over stupid resources, fighting over stupid reasons, fighting over tiny petty differences, on and on and on and on. We would progress so much more as a society if we got rid of these very ape-like trends. But then I sometimes joke with my friends, and it's only half a joke because I think this is literally the truth. I don't think we've evolved all the way. And I mean, there's no all the way, right? But I don't think we've evolved enough. I think we need more. I think we need, it's like fucking Chappelle show. We need like a little bit of that, more of that fucking, can we get a little bit more of that evolution, basically? Because literally I feel like we're just basically, we fell out of the trees last week. And essentially that's what I was joking about with D, or maybe one of the last shows. I was like, dude, was one of your last grandfathers? I wasn't trying to insult D if that's how it came off, but I was like, which one of our grandfathers, like how far back would we have to go before we found a grandfather that was throwing feces? And I was like, I bet it's only a few different grandfathers, honestly, because humankind is so primitive. I'm surprised that more humans don't believe that we're related to monkeys because we act like fucking monkeys no matter what. If there's a disaster, all the female humans start screaming and wailing just like chimpanzees or bonobos. Like we all fucking act the same, honestly.
Only 30% of
My
the
blueprint.
world uses toilet paper, and we share 50% of our coding DNA with oak
Which,
trees.
by the way, toilet paper is not the opposite. The Japanese, for example, they're way ahead of us with the fucking bidets and stuff. Like toilet paper is an incredibly wasteful system. We've just decided this. I just had to buy toilet paper the other day, and it's continually gone up in price. So I spent at Costco, mind you, and it was on sale. It was on fucking sale. I spent $25 for, and granted it's Costco, so it was a big package of toilet paper. But it's not like a yearly supply of toilet paper or something. It's only going to last a couple, 3 months.
Carrot Top had a really cool prop that was the bulimic bidet. It was just a bidet with a
Bulimic
plate
bidet?
next to it. Yeah, so you could eat and puke at the same spot.
Oh,
That's
God.
it. Hey, I gotta get going here.
Later, Bingus. Right on.
Thank
Fun
you so much
conversation. Cheers,
for
buddy.
the great conversation. I do
Welcome.
really enjoy actually dropping our beliefs and trying to unify humanity a little bit, or at least discuss it.
Oh, there's
It's
no reason to
interesting.
drop your beliefs, but there's also no reason to come at somebody as if you're always at war. That's kind of a foolish part of our society now that people are, oh, I can't discuss politics because it just dissolves into war or something. Of course you can talk politics. Of course you can talk religion. Of course you can talk anything the fuck you want if you're willing to be civilized about it and not get emotional and all that kind of stuff, right? But people we've lost the training. If anybody, a lot of people, maybe most people never had that, right? But I think there used to be a lot more dispassionate, like economic debate. I remember, for example, my parents, who were not geniuses at politics or anything, they used to be able to debate with their colleagues. And my parents actually were conservatives, so they would debate with their colleagues. They were musicians, which was very unusual. Most musicians are quite liberal, right? So they would debate with their colleagues in the break room and stuff. And I would hear them talking, and they wouldn't scream at each other or fucking threaten each other with knives or whatever. But these days, dude, people lose their shit when you talk about politics. So I think this is very
Actually,
much a
I'm gonna-
new part of our society.
You guys
What's that,
have a
Harcourt?
great night, huh?
Later, Bingus.
Later, Bingus.
What's that,
I'm gonna
Harcourt?
brush up on that. Casa Grande just put out a new video 2 days ago. It's modern ideologies. So I'm gonna have to
I'm a
cram
little, as
that one
soon as
in
I saw
tonight.
his channel, I was like, oh, another one of these guys. We'll see. But one of his first
Oh, you'll
videos
like
from
it.
11 days ago is the origins of Zionism with a fucking Palestine flag on it. I'm like, great. Another guy who has no connection to fucking the region or the people or anything else who's going to put his opinion on the
Oh, he'll put
Israel-Palestine thing.
facts.
Pardon?
Believe me, he's a smart cookie. You'll Let me know what you think of him.
The
if you
reason
watch
why I
any of
say
his
this
things.
is that I was trying to get some advice. I'm dealing with this just incredibly fucking predatory lawsuit, and I've been struggling like morally how to deal with it, right? And it has seemed completely like extortion and everything else, right? And so I talked to a lawyer, and he's like, "Yeah, that's literally it is. I'm sorry to say it is extortion, da 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 da, whatever." So I was trying. I didn't know who the fuck to talk to because these days, whatever. I'm not going to get into my life story, but these days it's been a challenging
Rock.
time. So I was like, dude, I don't know who else to talk to. And I was like, I'm atheist as fuck, but I'm just going to call this fucking synagogue and see if I can talk to this goddamn rabbi. So I go and talk to this rabbi, and I didn't get any useful input from him. He was a nice guy and everything. He was trying to be helpful and stuff, but he's just a religious figure, and I don't put a lot of stock in the wisdom that religious figures have these days, unfortunately. Whatever. It didn't work out the way that I was hoping it could, right? But perfectly clever guy. We were just chatting, back and forth and stuff, and we were talking about, I told him how this all got kickstarted because I suddenly had to go to Israel and da 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 da. And he was like, "Oh yeah, man." And I told him how I've lost friends over this, over literally over like TikTok videos. These friends will come at me with like, "Oh, I saw no 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 on TikTok. What do you have to say about that?" And I'm just like, "Fuck off. I'm not the ambassador for Israel. What do you want from me?" First of all, that's my first emotion. And then second of all, what? Do you actually want my opinion or do you just want to yell at me for a second? So anyway, I lost a few friends. And so I'm just talking to him about this and he's like, "Dude, I don't talk to anybody about the Israel-Palestine thing who is not either Jewish or Palestinian." And to be honest, I understood his perspective. And ever since he said that, I was like, dude, I actually think that you have a fucking point. If you don't have skin in the game, first of all, 99.9% of the world is completely misinformed. Everything that you think you know, first of all, you know a thimble's worth of fucking information, but almost certainly you are misinformed, no matter whose side you're on. It doesn't really matter. This is a thing that is fairly known when you actually talk to people who are in the Middle East. So, long story short, almost everyone in the world who has an opinion on this is misinformed and has no skin in the game anyway. Why the fuck do you have an opinion? It's like, what do I have an opinion on the people of Kuala Lumpur? No, I don't have an opinion on the fucking people of Kuala Lumpur. I only have a real opinion about people that I have skin in the game with, right? So anyway, he had a very logical point. Unfortunately, that means that your conversation is very limited in this world. There's, only so many Jews and Palestinians you can have that conversation with, but anyway, whatever. I'm babbling at this point, but I understood his point, and that was my first inclination when I saw that video. Maybe even a well-meaning guy, maybe even a genius, maybe even a very intelligent. I'll fucking watch the video. I'll watch a couple of, probably not that one first, but I'll watch a couple of his videos. But dude, the amount of nonsense about the Israel-Palestine thing really, really gets to me, to be perfectly honest. And like I say, if it didn't have real life consequences for me, I'd blow it off. But it actually has had real life consequences for me, and it probably is going to continue, honestly. So what a weird situation to be in. But welcome,
I'm sending you
welcome.
links on Instagram of some of my favorite ones, or some of the ones that you
Oh, I
should
was
at least,
wondering who was sending me shit.
yeah, if you, like just take a peek at each one, or
Gotcha.
see if he grabs you at the first 5 minutes
That's
of
what
them.
your mom said, by the way. Take a peek at each one. Cheers. Oh, I thought Silent Truth was saying hello, but you've been here. Cheers, Silent Truth. Good to see you, buddy. Folks, hop on. I'm gonna probably give this a last call because we're losing folks at an alarming rate. Excuse me. This would be your time to hop on,
We're
ladies and
talking
gentlemen. I
politics.
have some stuff to do. In fact, I really should have already been doing it. I could theoretically, because I want to take some clones, I could theoretically walk into the other room and continue this conversation with some headphones or something. So if we continue talking about this stuff, I could theoretically actually keep it up. But ladies and gentlemen, it would be so much easier if some of you folks hopped on here and joined the conversation. Otherwise, I'm going to seriously consider cutting the show. By the way, Miranda Family Farms, I didn't see you there earlier, or if I did see you, I didn't say hello. Cheers, buddy. Dr. Libby Alone is hanging. Good to see you, Doctor. Who else have I missed? Because I think I missed a few people now. Well, if I missed you, I didn't mean it, ladies and gentlemen. Nobody is in my bad graces or some shit. Cheers, folks.
I love this picture. It makes me feel good.
Oh, was I going to show that? Where was that guy's channel? Did I close it already?
Nice hardcore.
That's what she said.
Yeah,
Great.
Dang it, did I already close it?
That's
Oh, there it is.
what she said.
Stefan Milo. That's his name. Stefan Milo. Fucking guy. Oh, about the same subscribers, actually. Look at that. Oh, a little bit less. A little bit more. Roy has 455 and Stefan has 576. So 100 grand more, apparently. Can you imagine
I
having
don't
that many
know.
subscribers?
I do like to listen to what's his name? Fucking he's gonna be the next Nobel Prize winner. Fucking God, I'm drawing a blank just at the moment here. I talk about the guy all the time. He does work with the fucking uh the worms, the fucking God damn, I'm drawing blanks here. But he does stuff with fucking all sorts of like biology shit where like, regeneration of arms and longevity and fucking all the crazy shit that we can do now with genes and making genes do things that like I don't know. God, why am I not thinking of his name?
Because you're high.
It'll come to me.
By the way, Doctor,
Jordan.
cheers, by the way.
No, no.
When you talk closer to the phone, we can hear you better. Uh, Even that, honestly, would be better because a lot of times you put the phone 3 or 4 feet away and probably you have fans and stuff. I don't know exactly what's going on in your setup. Excuse me. What am I trying to say? I think Zoom does the noise canceling thing basically, and so we can't really hear you. I think that's one of the reasons when you start talking, it's like oh, and then it gets better all of a sudden. I think the noise canceling kicks in and kicks off, whatever, and it works much better when your voice is literally right next to the microphone. So it's one of the reasons I think why Bud used to basically talk right next to the phone, right?
Michael
It's
Levy.
it's cool though, folks. If we have to cut the show, it's cool. We've been on for a couple hours. It's not the end of the world. But this would be a good time for you folks to hop on here. There's the link. Just don't be a dick. Don't show your dick. Don't be a fucking lunatic. Uh, I am kind of getting over the shitty audio. I have to be honest. Like when it's really a struggle for me to hear you guys, I'm kind of over it. Like so. I don't know what to
I
tell you.
probably just
What's that,
I
Harper?
probably just cover up my I think I cover up my microphone just unknowingly a lot of the time.
Your problem, I think, is more that you oftentimes you're on your phone most of the time, and most of the time your internet gets shitty, which is fucking garbage because you probably have towers everywhere. I had the same
Well,
problem
no,
though. I was
I'm
driving
in
to
a
the river today, and all of a sudden I completely lost. I noticed because I lost music. It's like, oh, I must be in a dead zone. Sure enough, I look at my phone, no bars. I'm like,
no
shut the
my
fuck
town is a notorious dead zone. I'm down in a
up. Is it?
glacial cut valley
Uh,
where this lake is. In order
Dude,
to
my
get out of
house used to
town,
be my old house used to be right in this fucking dead spot, and no matter we had towers all over, I could see towers from my fucking house. Still somehow we were in a but whatever. I don't even know. We were in a dead zone all the time, like every single network too. It's the most
yeah, no, you
ridiculous
draw.
thing.
I don't know what the elevation change is, but I mean, it's like to get out of town in either direction, you got to go up like a 500-foot hill or something like that. Like
Mm,
your ears pop normally coming down the hill,
mm.
but then going the other direction of town, there's 21 miles of just lake shore that's flat, obviously because it's a lake, but the whole entire lake is it's a glacial cut valley, so there's like it's all like in a valley. So yeah,
But
the town.
telephone signals don't really travel well over water anyway. And first of all, you wouldn't have a tower in the lake anyway. So yeah, interesting.
Yeah, it's just all lower than everything else. Plus, I switched carriers lately too. I went from Straight Talk to T-Mobile, and Straight Talk's got way better service because they go off Verizon and shit. I suppose T-Mobile does too, but they must pay better money or something. I don't know what it
Hmm.
is. Because I seem to remember having better reception
I've
with.
thought about switching. I don't know how many times because I honestly hardly ever use like my phone on my phone. Like I hardly ever call anyone, right? Or to take a call for anybody. It's all just spam calls most of the time. So I'm like, why am I fucking paying for a regular phone? Like I could totally just downgrade it to something. But whenever I look at the other options, the signal coverage is even worse than I have now. So I'm like, oh my God, no.
For me, I
Uh,
want to be able to watch YouTube when I leave my, the Wi-Fi
uh,
type of
yeah,
shit. I don't know.
I suppose you're right. But it's like, oh my God, for the convenience. I guess I'm just paying for the convenience of it. Basically, you're right. Yeah.
Like I know a lot of people that don't have phone numbers that they just use like a text app,
Huh.
like fucking
Yeah,
or whatever,
surprisingly common in Europe and stuff. Yeah, people just use WhatsApp and shit, and they'll just use
Signal.
Wi-Fi or whatever. Yeah. 100%.
Free. That's a lot of my free scam bait numbers are.
Signal?
Okay,
No,
sorry, you're saying words, but I'm not sure I'm understanding. What's that, D?
I'm saying stuff like text free. That's what I use for like my scam baiting. I use those kind of numbers myself.
Oh, so
Text-free
just
is
like
the
virtual
app that
numbers.
you
I
get.
got you.
Yep.
Okay.
And you
Cheers,
got to
Jake.
pay a
Good to
little
see
bit
you.
extra to find one that you can fax through. Or no, to get so like a text-free app, you can't use that for like a verification number for like say Facebook. You get fucking you forget your password on Facebook and they ask you to log in on with your phone number and they'll send you a code to your phone number. You can't do that with it like the text-free app. You have to actually get.
There is one program you can. I used to use
Yeah,
it.
they do exist, but I'm just saying with the
No, I
majority of them,
understand.
that's a feature that they can't. I don't know.
No, I know it's a pain in the ass for me.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
I think it's a pain in the ass if you ever try to fax someone something nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
There's a million fax apps, but they're all unless you pay.
Yeah, it's a huge
It's
pain in
really
the ass.
fucking
I
pain in
usually
the
just
ass.
have to
Yeah.
go to. Thankfully, I rarely have to fax somebody, but whenever I do, I think I normally just go to like Staples or Office Depot. One of them closed down. Whatever one's still in business, I go to that one and I'll just email them with whatever the fuck and they can fax it. Super annoying though,
RIP
because it's like a
Radio Shack.
half hour, 45 minutes out of my life to drive to a fucking Staples and then go and you wait in line because there's always a line there. They're always understaffed. And so you wait fucking 10 minutes for the print guy to do it, and then they don't know how to do it because they haven't faxed someone from email for so long. Yeah, that's not true. Sometimes they do that all day. But my point is that it's always like a fucking hour of my life. If I could have just emailed it, oh my God. There used to
I
be
think
like
you used to be
fax
able to
apps and
fax.
stuff, and you're right, like they stopped working basically.
You used to be able to fax with Gmail. I think I want to say back in the day, but
Hmm.
I think they took that feature away.
I bet if I looked into it more, like it probably is possible if I looked into it more. It's just that's something I do
I
so
know I've done it.
rarely
I
that
mean, it's
it's
just
like,
like you only get so many faxes per free trial on a lot of them. So
uh,
like I know at one point I can't remember what it was that I had to fax a bunch of things for, but um it's a bunch of fucking court shit where I had to fucking clear a bunch of shit up with my license and I had to like file a bunch of petitions and shit and do all this fucking shit that should have been the court administrator's job, but they were being lax, so I just had to do it myself. And I remember I downloaded like 10 different apps just to be able to fucking send all the pages. They all came from different numbers and shit. Must have been a clusterfuck from their end, but it's not like a lot of people are sending them faxes, so it wasn't a huge. I'm sure they figured it out. Yeah.
it's just trying to think of fax jokes and it's pretty stupid. But I was just thinking to myself, how fun would it be to start up a virtual fax business for people who fun is not the operative word, but the fun part of this is okay, this is going to be a stupid joke actually. The payoff is not worth it. Anyway, like a food truck for faxes, and it would be called Fax Ton. Literally, just I should have just shut up.
Yeah, that one.
That wasn't
That
very
was pretty
good.
dumb.
Yeah, that wasn't very good. I tried though. I tried. They say life is worth it if you try, right? I don't know. Although Yoda said do or do not. There's no try.
I remember when
But Yoda's a
FX came
fictional
out.
character, so there's that too.
I don't know why I'm thinking about this, but I remember when Stars came out on TV, when you had the
The
Stars trial
channel.
and they played, yeah, the Stars channel, yeah, they played
Stuff
like
sounds true.
Forrest Gump for like a month straight, and that was
Uh,
unbelievable. How
You
Forrest
know what
Gump
just
could be on
infuriates me
TV.
is that all of these networks are trying to be a thing and none of them have any fucking content worth a shit. Except for basically HBO has a few shows, but they do like 2 year breaks between seasons. And Amazon
Yeah,
has
that sucks.
basically every one of them has like 2 or 3 shows. So for example, like Apple TV, in my opinion, has the best shows, but even
Yeah,
then, like
yeah,
actually
yeah. It's like,
justifying as the Apple TV subscription, like there's
yeah.
almost never anything on. Like you'll watch your show and then you'll wait a year for
I
something
think
new.
I think my mom has it because you can get all like the Mets games on it or something.
Uh,
And then
Yeah, and that's
If
even
I find a show
confusing
that I
too.
really wanna
Thankfully, I'm not a
watch-
sports nut because yeah, all the networks, this games are on
Yeah.
different networks,
Yeah.
and one day it's on this one, the other day it's on that one. Fuck all the way off.
That,
find a show that I really
Stupid.
want to watch, like say Letterkenny or something like that. I will get BitTorrent. I will download that shit on Pirate Bay. Fucking
I'm getting to
God
that
bless
point,
you.
man. For the longest time in my life, I was like, oh, I don't torrent, I don't steal, da da da. But at this point, I'm just like, these guys are all fucking thieves. Like David Zaslav, the boss of HBO, Warner, Max, Discovery, whatever the shit, basically pays himself $50 million a year to pile everything into the ground. He was talking about how the cable subscriptions, specifically HBO, are far too little. And he basically was talking about how, oh, in the old days, cable was $55 a month. So he apparently wants to move his subscription to like $50 a month. Mind you,
Huh.
he's canceled how many fucking shows? So you're basically paying 3 times as much, maybe, for half as much. Give me a fucking break. So at that point, I'd be like, dude, it's your fucking moral obligation at that point to torrent, I think.
Somehow we still have HBO Max for free from having the cable. Like
Don't say
spectrum.
it too out. Don't say it out loud. Literally, just don't mess with a good thing. Just leave it.
But,
Don't
like,
touch
I
it.
don't even fucking watch it anymore.
I don't even fucking watch any TV.
I had that for a
really.
while before I moved at my old house. Basically, I had some kind of miraculous old plan that they gave me HBO.
Oh, it's
for
been
free, and I was
over a
like, I'll
year,
take it.
bro.
Nice, yeah,
Like
dude.
for real. Like
Like
I'm gonna-
Don't
they
mess with
haven't,
a good
done
thing.
anything.
Don't tell anybody. That's
I'm
it.
gonna share a link in chat. That is it's Jack
It-
Resider,
My
the dark web diaries.
we don't
he
want
does
to
an
see your
interview with
OnlyFans.
hold on a second, dude. He does a interview with the guy who founded the Pirate Bay, and he tells the story of the Pirate Bay. And that dude was gangster as fuck. He took Hollywood
yeah.
and said, "Fuck you, Hollywood." And Sweden was like, "I got your back, dude." And the Pirate Bay is still around today.
Hmm.
It's fucking
Yeah.
it's a pretty cool
It
little
got
interview.
I've never
moved.
had a chance to actually see there's been a couple of movies about the Pirate Bay, and I haven't actually ever watched
Wasn't it like the guy that
Started Minecraft or something.
No, that's a different guy.
That's a different guy.
Yeah.
I thought that was like
That guy's
something
got a
different.
nuts story though. All of a
Yeah.
sudden he's like, I'm gonna build game. I'm a Swedish Norwegian guy, whatever. I'm going to build game. And all of a sudden Microsoft pays him like $2 billion. Like, shut the fuck up.
Come on now.
I kind of want to see that Tetris movie with Tom Hanks or whoever the hell it is. There's a Tetris movie that came out not
Is
too
this
long ago.
Tetris movie?
The
with
tetanus
Tom
movie.
Hanks?
Here, I'm here to see the tetanus movie.
The tetanus movie?
Something,
Tom Hanks.
I keep seeing clips of it. I like on
But
Facebook
you
videos or
go on
whatever.
a first date with some chick and then you come home. Oh, how was the movie? Oh, I went and saw the tetanus movie. It was great. Wait, you took a woman to see a tetanus movie?
Some dude, like some American guy, traveled to Russia to like
To get
make
tetanus?
deals with the developer of it. The guy
I
who
come
made
here
it.
for the rusty objects.
Stuff to do with the Russian government being involved and this and that. And the other cool one is there's a movie about the how Adidas became, or was it Nike? Maybe it's the Nike one.
Are you thinking of the movie
They're-
Air with Ben Affleck?
No, it's a
Affleck.
it's one. God, I can't think of all the details of. It was what they started with like a Japanese shoe company that would send them shit in California, and like they just the way that it must have been the Nike company. Yeah,
It wasn't
it had
Nike,
to
no,
be.
because he started in Oregon. He was in U of O, and
Oh,
he
yeah,
would drive.
Oregon,
Like he
then maybe.
famously
Okay,
came
yeah.
to my high school and sold. Like he would in the
Yeah,
very
yeah,
beginning,
he was
before I was
basically like
born,
a-
he would go and basically like
door-to-door
actually use a
salesman.
waffle iron to basically make the soles and stuff. He would basically make them in the back of his freaking van, and then he upgraded from there. And then any history of Nike is not complete without the copious amounts of child slave labor in Southeast Asia. So
Yeah.
unfortunately, that's always sanitized away from the situation.
It was-
Also,
it
the
was-
fact that Nike is a notorious boys club and they're just like a terrible place to work at, apparently. So,
There was something to do with the way where they started out with like getting the best running shoe from Japan and selling that, being like the sole distributor for them in America. And then it
oh, I
became-
kind of remember that. Yeah, he was sole distributor of some fucking of a sole or something.
Yeah, some
Yeah, I
weird,
don't remember that part.
some weird Japanese company,
Hmm.
and then he ended just the way that it goes
Sole
through and it tells
distributor.
how he ended up getting the whole I don't know whatever.
Oh, we could look this up, but yeah, I remember you talking about it. It was either Japanese or Swiss or some shit. Oh, I fucking don't
No, it was
remember.
Japanese for sure.
Was it
I'm pretty
Japanese?
sure. Yep.
I believe it.
Yeah, I was like,
Ben
no
Affleck made.
Yokoto or
It's a
something like
decent
that.
movie. That movie Air a couple 3 years ago. It's kind of whitewashes the story a bit, but you know what movie about that kind of stuff doesn't whitewash the story? Kind of the story about how Michael Jordan and Nike came up with the first kind of a boring, dry concept for a movie actually, but how they came up with the idea of the first
Was that
shoe
Space?
deal,
Was
basically.
that Space Jam?
No. Uh, Dude, I remember watching Space Jam with fucking Bugs Bunny and shit. Oh my God. That was a long time ago. Fuck was I gonna say? I can't remember what I was gonna say now. It's an okay movie.
Maybe that was
Air.
the movie I was watching clips of, but I don't think it was. I don't know.
I
I
was gonna
can't.
say I don't think there's too many other Nike stories around. It's probably Air. Yeah, it was probably that one.
Yeah, it must have
Yeah.
been. I was just seeing.
It's fine. It's not like worth spending money on to rent it or something. But if it's on TV or something, it's worth
It was something
watching.
that would come across my Facebook reels all the time or something like that.
Mm.
Another one was the Queen's Gambit, I think it's called, where there's like um a a chick that plays chess who's like autistic,
Okay.
and that's a pretty decent one. Like she goes and starts like playing competition chess and shit. The Queen's Gambit, or there's an Australian one called the In-Betweener, where this guy does like he's like a vigilante basically, or kind of like he's just this gangster dude that like
Sounds like a
fucks people
porno.
up for doing bad things. Kind of, he's just like, yeah, it's kind of crazy. I don't know. I've
I've
seen a
seen
lot of
some
episodes.
weird Australian movies at one point when we had satellite at one point on some channel. It might have been like on IFC when it first came out. Like a really weird Australian movie. And then there's like a British movie too. And they're both kind of weird. Like the British movie.
These two are both series or whatever or shows.
Oh, okay.
All right,
The Queen's Gambit and
Yeah, that sounds.
sounds familiar to me.
what's the other? And then there's another one too where there's a autistic chick that does she does a lot of things with like horses and like the horse industry, or I don't know.
Temple
It's like
Grandin, or what are you talking
yeah,
about?
yep. That's
Oh,
the one.
yeah.
Yep,
That's
that
cool.
one seems to be pretty good. I've never actually seen it, but I've just seen so many clips of the show. Or another good one is that fucking Billy Bob Thornton Landman, I think it's called, where he's like runs an oil company kind of. That's got some pretty
Is that
hardcore scenes in
fiction
it.
or nonfiction?
Yep, fiction.
Okay.
And it's
Because
like
Temple
a
Grandin is
Cinemax
real,
HBO.
but I gotcha.
Yeah, it's like a HBO or Cinemax or something like that. One of the more produced
Cinemax?
shows or whatever. I don't know. Or like the good classics, or I mean, Letterkenny. If you've never seen Letterkenny, that's
I
the
haven't
shit.
actually seen that one yet.
Yeah, Letterkenny is good. You can see a lot of clips of it on YouTube and shit, but you gotta either have a VPN when you download because it's Canadian. So you either have to have a VPN or
yes.
just go and get out the Pirate Bay.
Well,
Isn't it
D's
on?
all
It's
set
on
then.
one of the networks. It's on. I remember
Oh.
seeing it on one of them. It's on one of the weird ones too.
FX
It's
or
on
something
not
like that by now.
Netflix. Yeah, maybe FX or Hulu or some shit.
Oh
Yeah, no,
there- There's some stuff on like FX or something that like I hate that when there's like something on like AMC Plus or this and that, and I'm like, oh, I really want to watch that, but I'm not getting that.
Hmm.
Or
Yeah,
one that
everything's
was
on
really
like
good that
Hulu now.
AMC put out a show called it was about like this family basically that like a bunch of inbred family got like they lived in like the hills of Kentucky or some shit, and like there's this whole little population where no one goes up the hill because that's where the Outsiders, I think, or something like that it was called. God, I can't think of what it was. It was only like 2 seasons.
Yeah.
It was 2 seasons, but it was like just the most breathtaking show. Fucking,
I hate
haven't
I hate
seen-
that shit when they end shows like
Too soon like that. Like I don't know. Like oh, we got like 3 or 4 seasons, and that's it.
Yeah, all the networks
Like
are
the
terrible
original
at that,
Office
but
only
like
had 1 season.
Netflix is famous for just the kiss of death, right? Yeah.
Or if you've ever watched Shameless and then
Yeah.
gone and seen the UK version of Shameless, That's pretty fucking shameless.
There's a UK
It was
version.
basically an
came out.
identical copy
Oh
for
my
like the first
dude,
three
Really?
seasons,
yeah.
right? And they
I didn't
finally
Go
even
and
changed the
know.
watch
writing a
it.
little
I
bit,
didn't
but
even
yeah.
know.
Dude,
It's
go
kind
and
of like
watch it. You can watch it on YouTube, just type in UK
Frank Gallagher.
Shameless.
I think the
And
UK Frank Gallagher is far better, honestly.
dude, it will make you fucking go, what the fuck? Are you serious? Like the entire first 5 seasons are like verbatim.
Yep.
They changed like a couple things.
Yep.
And if you can stand the British voices, British one's pretty cool.
You just insulted our entire British
Sometimes
or
that
every.
gets a little bit.
What's
I
wrong
can't
with?
even do
Wait,
it.
hey mate, what's wrong with British voices?
Sometimes I can't even do the impression, but they get a little bit when they got the Cockney in them or whatever. The
Well, that's it basically, because Britain has not only regional but class differences in speech, right? We don't really have a similar thing here. The only real similar thing that you have here is like urban patois, right? So, for example, African American black people will oftentimes have their own version of kind of whatever people call it, Ebonics. I think that I've always thought that was a stupid name,
Yeah,
but you know what I'm
yeah.
talking about, right? And there's
Okay.
also regional differences. So, for example, Georgian African Americans or Americans from Georgia sound different than African Americans from Los Angeles, for example, or from New York, right? What am I trying to say? But there isn't necessarily a class-based difference in that, for example, right? So you wouldn't necessarily have like so I don't know, 50 Cent or somebody. Now that he's a billionaire, he doesn't speak differently or something, right? Or his kids, for example, don't speak differently. They'll probably speak like he does, how he grew up, da 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 da. Whereas in the UK, if you grew up working class, you'd have basically a working class accent, unless your parents famously sent you to private school where they teach you like a posh accent. And there are, for
yeah,
example,
if
like
they
the
have the
royal
more
family
stiff
has their
upper lip,
own. Pardon?
the more wealthy they are, the stiffer the upper lip is, and the more
Well,
like
not
they
even
cut
that. They
the
just they
words
have
out.
their own very kind of ostentatious accents. And actually, the upper class, the fucking hoity-toity, basically, they have a deliberately made up accent. Actually, so like the British royal family and the upper crust, basically, it's a deliberate. They didn't grow up speaking that way. Basically, that was learned at their school, basically, or by tutors, and it's like an intentionally made accent to sound like aristocrats. It's the most up your ass thing I've ever heard of in my fucking life. Like this is
I
why
watched
D,
something about
I
the king.
cannot see common cause with you on that fucking royal shit. Like it's just I would toss them in a fucking I would toss them right out the window into the fucking sewer pits like they did in Prague. I can't understand why people tolerate royalty. But that is literally what they do. They have a deliberately made up accent to sound better than you, essentially.
Yep, I remember watching some type of documentary on it. Was, I think it was called the King's English or something like that.
Oh, the
But it
King's
was
Speech, maybe, yeah.
no, it wasn't the
The
King's Speech.
Edward who lisped and he had to learn. Was that the one?
Yep,
Oh,
yep.
okay.
No, that's not what it was. But it
Gotcha.
was something that dealt with exactly what you're talking about.
I gotcha.
How that the English aristocrat, fucking whatever, the king's tongue became. Because if you didn't, and I think it was something to do with the fact that if you could read books, that means that you were royalty. Like they were the only ones that had access to the books, so that they made their own
Well, with the exception of monks, for example, one of the biggest
something.
paths
I don't know.
to literacy throughout the Christian world, anyway, was to become, for example, a monk or a priest or a nun, by the way. This is one of the reasons, actually, why Jews became bankers. People are always like, Jews control all the money in the world. One of the reasons why is that for about 4,000 years now, very unusually for human history, almost every Jewish male, unfortunately, most Jewish women were left in the fucking dark. That's just how life works for humanity for the most of history. But every Jewish male is required to basically read, Talmud, Torah, and so on, and actually debate about it, basically, not only on Sabbath and stuff, but throughout the week, whatever. So, long story short, Jewish males would be able to read not only in Hebrew but also in the languages of the area. Because if you learn one language, you can learn another language. It's kind of how languages work. You learn how to learn, right? So, anyway, historically, Jews have always been a literate minority, and if you want someone to run your fucking paperwork or take track of your fucking orders or do sales or whatever else, you're going to pick the literate one over the illiterate one. And so historically, of course, Jews filled those roles. Conveniently, then they would actually rack up huge bills to the fucking aristocrats. And then from time to time, the aristocrats would kick all the Jews out and, of course, remove their bills in the process. What am I trying to
Do you know why?
say? Go ahead.
Do you know why Jews have such big noses?
Why?
Air is free.
Nice one.
Oh,
Um, but what was the point that I was trying to make beyond that? Oh, how you were talking about how most people didn't read. And that was a big problem, actually. Most of the religions in the world have been spread by pastors, so to speak, priests, whatever, imams, doesn't fucking matter which religion, who essentially made up what they were talking about. Because most of the time, there was a difference between I can't think of any words today. The common tongue, so what we're speaking right now, and the liturgical speech. So, for example, in the Catholic Church, it was always in Latin. Well, the only people that understood Latin, even in many cases, the monks wouldn't understand Latin. The priests oftentimes wouldn't really, because Latin is a fucking language you learn in school. It's not something you grow up speaking anymore. They would only really have academic Latin, right? And so they wouldn't really understand everything. Basically, the people in the audience, they wouldn't know a fucking word of what they were saying. So the priest wouldn't even they wouldn't even face still to this day, actually, in many cases, the Catholic Church, the priests will face away from the audience, right? From the congregation. They'll just do their thing, and the audience can be there or not be there. It doesn't fucking matter. They don't have to understand a goddamn word. And in many cases, for example, in Islam, the sermons are practiced in Arabic, right? And not only in Arabic, but oftentimes they were practiced in ancient Arabic. The Quran itself is written in essentially ancient Arabic, I guess you could say. Kind of like, if you read like Middle English, for example, even if you read like Shakespeare in his original writing, like it's hard to understand most of the time. It's really like the words are different, the structure is different, like its spelling is completely different, on and on and on. It's super fucking complex. Well, imagine 1,000 years earlier, and that's essentially ancient Arabic is so far removed. Well, so for example, imams famously would tell they would tell their fans, "Oh, as to the Quran says you can beat your wives, you can do this, you can do that, you can do whatever the fuck," and they do the same thing in the Christian religion, on and on and on. And only, for example, Martin Luther, who was himself not the world's best guy, but he basically said that people should be able to read their fucking Bible. And I have to be honest, I think that's a logical statement, to be honest, even if he was a jerk in other ways, hated Jews and so on.
Got sick of standing up
He
and down and
famously
kneeling.
was fucking hated by the Catholic Church, basically because of that.
Huh.
Pardon, say it again, Hardcore?
So he just got sick of standing up and kneeling and sitting down and standing up and kneeling and standing up and kneeling and
Oh
sitting
no,
down and
fucking
kneeling.
dude! If you
standing
look
up.
at the
I-
original traditions
they're
of
taking
the, first of
position
all,
and fuck
Martin
me
Luther was a
already.
massive
mean-
piece of shit. No,
I
he
mean,
was the
I
most
lived next to a
moralizing son of a
Catholic
bitch you've ever
church.
found in your life. What's that sound truth?
I said I lived next to a Roman Catholic church.
I've got an aunt that's been a nun for 70 years.
Wow.
Holy cow! How old is she?
She's like 88 or something like that.
Oh,
she,
wow.
she just
Yeah.
retired a couple years ago.
Basically graduated high school and went and became a nun.
Yeah.
Yeah, she went to
She's like,
Japan.
I'm not
and
even
was like-
about that dick. That's basically what she said. She was in high school. She was like, I
Well,
saw some of that when I was in high school.
Well,
and I was
he
like, I'm
just
not
said
about
she
that.
went to Japan.
Yeah, well, yeah, way back in the day, like in the 50s. She
What
went
happens
and
in Kyoto stays in Kyoto.
did a bunch, but she also was like the financial auditor for a huge like corporation church thing. So I'm sure she knew a little bit more than the average Jill when it comes to the church and what they do. It's kind of like I've always figured like the higher up the clergy, they got to know that they're just pulling the wool over the eyes. It's like, granted, a lot of them do.
No, I think they all
believe and are
basically,
very
I think most
religious,
of those
but-
guys actually buy their own bullshit.
But
Same
when it
thing
gets
like
up
the
to the
Pope and
top,
stuff.
there's
Yeah,
gotta
those guys are they are sniffing the full fart right up there. Yeah.
And that inner circle though, there's just, I don't know, it's insane.
No,
But I
don't
won't
think
talk
so.
about religion.
I think
any
those
longer.
guys. I think those guys are sniffing the entire fart with both hands. Seriously, they're huffing that shit in. Yeah.
And I mean, not saying it doesn't do a lot of great things. A lot of people do live good lives because of it, but at the same time, yeah, I won't get it. We will. The numbers just keep going down if we talk about it any much longer.
Well, I don't really care about the numbers. It's not like this show gets all that many numbers these days. At this point, I care more about an interesting conversation, to be perfectly honest. What are our numbers? What's the numbers, bro? How many numbers have we got watching? We got only 18 people. You're right. People are peeling off like fries, French fries. Speaking of fries, I should make some dinner. Probably gonna make fries.
American
Although I
freedom
could
fries.
actually, now that I think about it, I could totally make some air fryer fries. And
Make some
think about
poutine.
this for a second. What's that,
You
Hardcore?
got some cheese. Make some poutine. You got some cheese and some whatever the fuck they put on that shit.
I do actually have some,
Hey.
with a interesting surprise, I do have some cheese that would be perfect for that, to be honest. I have both, I think, one slice left of Münster that would melt really well over some French fries.
Okay.
But also I have I don't think there's another name for it. It's called picnic cheese from Austria, actually. Sounds very rare, of course, I imagine, but you
Yeah.
get it at Costco. It's one of my favorite cheeses these days. It's just absolutely perfect. It's literally like a designed to be kind of like a picnic cheese, basically.
Mm.
It's quite salty. It's just a very quick made, I think it's a cow
Well,
milk cheese. Oh, that's a good little
This is
pizza.
my
Is that a
deal.
frozen pizza? That looks good.
This is my deal of the week. My local supermarket has these
Dude,
Newman's
have you
own
seen how
Petty
much
Crispy.
frozen
Oh,
pizzas are now? I was at Costco
all
yesterday and they're
Newman.
like $8 a piece now. Newman's
Two
own?
ninety nine a piece for these, dude.
No
I went and bought
fucking
like
way.
I bought like 10
That's
of
a
them.
score. My
Newman's
dog's
own Petty
dreaming.
Crispy
You guys hear him
Supreme.
like, oof, oof. He's like dreaming.
Oh,
I've never eaten it before
Newman's.
now, but
I looked it up, Fumi. It does it come in like a Pringles can? Like
What are you referring to?
your picnic cheese.
Yes, it's like a metal can. Yeah.
Yes. It's like
Yeah.
a
Oh, it's
it
so
looks like a
freaking good.
Pringles can.
Yeah. It's kind
Pringles,
of
by the way, are
it's a not a super complex flavor. Maybe that's one of the reasons why I like it because it's just a set. It's salty and creamy and
Yeah.
fulfilling. I really enjoy it. I enjoy it basically with
Wow.
breakfast. I enjoy it with dinner. Like it's wonderful cheese and very melty too. Surprisingly, because not
Yeah.
surprisingly, but not every cheese melts well.
Yeah.
We got
Sometimes.
some double vanilla going on here.
Heck yeah.
Mm. Oh
Looks
shit.
like you're having a
Pizzazz. You
feast
don't
over
have a
there. Actually, that's a
pizzazz.
good looking frozen pizza. Let's take a look at that. Holy cow.
So
Yeah.
Let me
are you putting that in
spotlight
like
that.
an air fryer microwave
Yeah,
then?
is that like a spinning air fryer thing?
It's a pizzazz.
Oh, I've heard of
Oh,
those.
the
Okay, how do those
pizzazz
work?
frozen pizza cooker thing.
It's got a fucking, I don't know if you can
Oh,
see the
that's so
glow
funny.
glow
It's
down
on your
there.
Craftsman
So
toolbox.
there's
I
It's got like
fucking
a
love
bunch
it.
of LEDs in it.
There's a coil. No,
It's
it's like
just
a
an electric
stove
coil, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a what do you call it? A fucking what do you call them
It's
for
an
like a
induction coil. Yeah,
space
just
or
like your
your
regular stovetop, pretty
yeah,
much.
yeah, like your stovetop coil or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
But there's one on top and then there's one on the bottom too.
Oh,
And
okay.
it spins
And then
around,
you
right?
could choose, both or have just the top or the bottom. But I cook a bunch of shit out here. I mean, anything you can really cook in the oven almost. But you just don't, in any kind of pizza, you just put the timer on. You don't have to, do 450 degrees or for DiGiorno or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, like,
Although to be
400 for
honest,
DiGiorno.
the heat is the secret for pizza. People are always disappointed with their both frozen and homemade pizzas. The catch is that none of us really have stoves that are hot enough. The commercial stoves, even at Domino's and stuff, are like 700 degrees.
yeah.
A wood-fired oven is literally like 900 degrees. So, for example, a real Neapolitan pizza, it's done in between 60 and 90 seconds,
Yeah.
and they bake it basically at 900 fucking degrees.
Yeah.
Whereas your stove, if you're lucky, you can get to 450, 500,
Yeah. Like we have a pizza stone, put that in like the G wall oven. It's like 500, it's pushing it.
Mm. And the nice thing about the pizza stone is that it's helping you retain the heat, essentially. It's
Yeah.
kind of like a cast iron pan for steaks on the stove. As soon as you put a steak in not even a Teflon or anything else, most pans are just too thin. And so
Yeah.
as soon as you put the steak in there, you got the pan ripping hot if you know a little bit about what you're doing with steaks. But as soon as you put the steak in there, that cold meat, even if you let it rest for a while, that cold meat brings the temperature of the pan
Yeah,
down.
that's why you
So
gotta
instead
have
of searing it, you're
If you're
basically
cooking-
kind of
Your
steaming
mom
the
loves
fucking
cold
steak.
meat.
You
know
gotta
what I
let your steak room temp.
Yeah.
Well, but again, like I
Activate
say,
room temperature
the
before you
key
cook it.
is that you want like a hunk of fucking metal, basically,
Yeah.
or just throw it on a grill that's temperature doesn't change, right? But basically, if you're cooking it on a stovetop, for example, on a pan, you want something thick like a cast iron pan. That's one of
Yeah.
the biggest advantages of the cast iron pan. It
Oh,
it has
Letterkenny has
heat
a great-
retention essentially, so its heat doesn't drop, basically.
There's an
Letterkenny
alternate-
has a great little sequence where they debate with each other what the best steak is. 3 minutes sear on one side. Dash the salt, dash the pepper, blah blah blah. Fucking no A1 sauce. Fucking I don't know. I like A1 sauce, so I like to smother my shit in that while I'm cooking it
I
on the grill.
stopped.
Even.
I stopped having sauce with. Although to be honest, I don't eat all that many steaks these days. But from time to time, I'll make a steak, and I never eat it with basically anything but salt and pepper anymore.
What about horseradish?
But when I was a kid, I was all about the A1, 100%.
I'm all about the fucking seasoned meat tenderizer.
Ah.
I don't know, something about it. That and I'll
You're addicted
chop
to the
onions in half
sodium
and I put a
nitrate,
half
is what it
onion on
is.
top of my steak. To use it as
Your
like a
body is
weight?
craving the nitrates. I need more nitrates. I must nitrate. It's kind of like wait, what is it for? I must hydrate. Oh fuck, what was that movie from? Oh, I can't think of it. What's that?
Water boy.
That would be
It's
logical, but
not a
no, I don't think
Numa.
so. I must hydrate. I can't think. I think I might be messing up the memory. You're right. I think I might be combining like Three Body Problem with something else. Because in Three Body
Get to the
Problem, the
chopper
aliens are
now.
like dehydration cycle.
I'm gonna have all the
Here,
sausage eaten off
everybody.
this thing before it's
That's a
done.
solid looking pizza, I have to be honest. That around
That
here,
Paul Newman, he was
one of my favorites, because I have to be honest, I'm not above a frozen pizza from time to time. One of my favorites
Yep,
is
Paul Newman's own.
Sicilian or some shit. I can't remember. And it seems to be, it's kind of a, well, we'll see. It seems like a thin crust, so we'll see if it actually comes out like a thin crust pizza. But I'm
And
liking
I'm
the
fingering ice cream
toppings.
right
I
now
wish
too.
it had
I'm
maybe a
pissed
little
off.
bit more pepperoni on there. But
Paul Newman
I'm
used to
liking
have
the
a house
variety. It looks like,
one
you know, in
time
typical
over.
Newman's Own, looks like the ingredients are seemingly high quality.
Plus, they
You can't
donate
tell
all
from here,
like
but I mean,
most
they
of the
look
proceeds
decent. Pardon?
to charity.
Like the pepperoni is not curling aggressively. It's not also melting from being half oil and shit like that. So it's
I
actually
do
real
miss those
pepperoni.
the Totino's pepperonis back in the day. They were like little teacups. You get a little shot of pepperoni juice with each one.
Yeah, I know that style you're talking about. Yeah, there's this pizza place that for some reason is super popular in Portland, and I think it's just garbage up on 42nd. And people are always raving about it. The reviews are always great, but it's like this dude is basically making his pizza the fucking back room in an air fryer or something. Anyway, and so his pepperoni, it's always the shitty pepperoni with the fucking dish cup full of oil. Every single little pepperoni is just like a little, I don't even know, explosion of oil in your mouth. Blech. Disgusting. And it's always like boiling hot because, of course, the pizza just came out of the fucking oven. Jesus H. Christ.
I'm still waiting on my denture, so I'm gonna. Usually I make my shit really crispy, but not
Denture.
today.
You get all your teeth ripped out?
Yeah, I've got zero
Oh,
teeth
he's
right
been
now.
through it. Yeah, he's had some. Well, first of all, I was fist fighting with Sasquatch is really the thing that really caused
That
the
was the
problem.
main
You should
reason.
have seen Sasquatch though. Fucking hell, you know, he showed us pictures.
See your mom's pussy, man.
Oh,
Thing has
No,
teeth.
teeth
That's why I
problems
don't have
are
any
that's
anymore.
one of the things that's another thing that we fucking plod along with all the societal problems that we seem to be fine with. Dental care in this country and dental insurance is just a big fucking scam. And a lot of people don't realize that dentists are among the highest paid professionals that exist.
absolutely.
I think the average dental salary is something like $1 million. It's
It's
higher than lawyers, higher than doctors, higher than everybody. And
No,
it's
I've snorted my weight in methamphetamines many times over, probably. So that's the reason why I have no teeth.
that'll fuck you up for
Makes
sure.
sense.
And it's like I had most of my teeth. It's just my front two teeth were fucking junk,
Huh.
and that's really shitty. Not good for self-esteem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can
But
imagine, man. I've known a couple people even missing like one tooth in the back of their mouth, and it just messed up their head. You know, I get it.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know,
Nope.
especially in this
It was
culture, more and more. I've never really had like my teeth have never been like pearly white or whatever. They've always been kind of translucent since I was a kid. So I've always been a little bit self-conscious about it because you know you'll see these people with fucking white veneer teeth or something. You know, like.
Oh yeah.
You know, teeth whitening never seemed to work on me because my teeth were just somehow a little bit different color. I asked the dentist one time. He's like, "Oh yeah, you just have different teeth." Anyway,
I know, but I had very little cavities growing up and shit. But I've always drank massive amounts of Pepsi and Mountain Dew, Dr.
yeah.
Pepper,
Yeah.
soft drinks my whole life.
Yeah.
I eat almost all candy, like my diet.
Well,
Right, I'm not-
I'll do it.
Yeah, when I was like I remember like in grade school, I would drink sugar.
Oh,
Like I
very
would have
Oh, yeah.
like I'd get home and I would have 2 cups of sugar for a snack. Like I would drink it in a cup,
Wow.
let it melt in my mouth.
I've known kids like that literally would just eat sugar. You know, I was a kid when I was a kid. Yeah.
Well, I guess you're lucky you don't have diabetes at this point.
No, I'm.
Yeah, I wonder long term about some of the. Well, one guy I knew that used to
Well,
have
that's
the
because I've got
weirdest
high
diets.
metabolism and
He
I've worked my
cleaned
whole
up
life. I
basically. He
burned my
met a
calories.
Okay.
But that's the thing, I think, with hardcore. For example, I used to know a guy, and he already had a great metabolism, but in high school, college, we were good friends. He would eat like a two of the king size Snicker candy bars and a sandwich and da 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 for lunch. But he would work like for during the summer, for example, in college, he would work like ditch digging and stuff. Like he would just burn it off in one day. Like it was not a problem. In fact, it was like Michael Phelps. The problem is keeping enough calories, basically, right? Anyway. Dude, you remember reading those stories about Michael Phelps's fucking diet and how he ate like 15,000 calories a day or more than that, I think it was. And it was like every morning he eats like 4 dozen. I can't, it wasn't 4 dozen, but it was like a dozen eggs on 4 egg McMuffins with bacon.
Wow.
And then I was like, Jesus Christ, the amount of
That's
eating. Anyway,
that is a lot.
I should, anyway, whatever. We'll skip those jokes. Ladies and gentlemen, I have mixed feelings about the subject because we've lost D, but we've gained Silent Truth. So, ladies and gentlemen,
Where's
I
Bud?
definitely have some stuff to do.
What happened to Buddy?
You guys want to hop on here? What are your thoughts, guys? Do you want to keep going? You want like if I step away or even go to the next room? Do you guys want to keep talking amongst yourselves, or do you want to cut this
Bullshit.
I'm good to go. My pizza's done, so I'm gonna probably hop off.
You're gonna all right, sounds good. And by the way, let's take another look because your pizza actually just in the last couple of minutes, it looks like it got a lot more done.
Oh, yeah. Look at
Let's
that.
take a look.
Oh.
Well,
Oh.
I think the crust was pre-browned a little bit. So how does it feel though?
That's just good.
Crispy or crispy a little bit?
A little bit crispy, but not a whole lot.
All right.
You gotta remember,
I
he's
could-
trying
I
to,
could-
he's trying to
Well,
go.
like you said, you're not trying to overdo that pizza right now. So yeah.
No, usually I like it really way crispier than it is, but
Yeah.
but like I say,
Well,
that's the cool thing about pizzazz is that the last 3 minutes I turned the bottom heater off, so it's just
Mm.
cooking fat.
Hmm.
So if I have to, I just make topping soup out of it and just eat that shit.
Oh my
That's
God,
what-
I've known psychopaths like that would just strip off all the toppings and just eat them with a
Dude,
fork.
I don't know how many pizzas back in my early
There's so many
20s when-
pizza war crimes.
when I did a lot of drinking. I had a lot of pleasures back in the day and burnt a lot of pizzas. And those pizzas would inevitably just be me with the fork scraping the toppings off. Fucking. Yeah.
Hilarious.
You're like, I'll be goddamned if I'm gonna throw this away. This is perfectly good fucking food.
Oh,
I'm just
fucking-
gonna eat it.
The best meals in my life were probably burnt pizza topping.
That's
Just
funny. as
burnt
hell.
pizza topping. Mm-hmm. All right.
Yep. Even like the outer 2/3 of it, the last 2 inches around the diameter were too burnt. You could only get that little bit in the middle. I don't know.
There's a "that's what she said" joke in there somewhere, but we'll focus on
Gonna have
that.
that
Pretty
char.
solid looking pizza. I guess if I ever see a Newman's Own, I'll think about buying one, especially for $3. God damn, you scored. I mean,
Yeah,
it is a
yeah,
little
yeah.
bit smaller than maybe the one that I normally buy, but not much.
Like
Like,
a
It's
12
a
inches.
charity.
honestly, yeah, I think it's the same size, to be honest. I think that's a hell of a deal for $3.
It's got to be 12. Oh no, 10 and a half.
Okay, it might be a little tiny bit smaller than the one I normally buy, but for half the price, bro, shut the fuck up.
Well, yeah, I was surprised to see that. I mean, I'm normally pay for. I don't know if you have Jack's Pizza. Those
don't
are kind
think
of the
so.
run of the mill ones here.
There's one brand, Zax or some shit, but I haven't bought
Did you
that one.
say Cax? The Cax pizza?
Jack's, like jumping jacks.
Yeah, I feel
Jumping.
like I've seen that one somewhere, but not around here. I guess I'm not a
What about
frozen pizza
Mama
connoisseur
Celeste?
necessarily.
Have you heard of Mama Celeste?
Uh-uh.
No?
DiGiorno,
Yeah.
Totino's. I
Mama-
usually get Totino's pizzas because they're like $3 for a little party pizza, $2 or something like that.
Well, you used to
And-
be able to get like a Mama Celeste for $1. It come with like a little like foil cardboard thing, so it'd get crispy on the bottom in the microwave. Don't ask me the chemical reaction that happened there. Probably causes cancer. But they were delicious at the time.
Fucking pizza's made of
Sorry,
half
Teflon is
Mylar for
interesting.
crispiness. What's that, Horkor?
I just watched something about the story of Teflon, and that's interesting. Sorry, how that came to be.
Oh, it's just such a sad story because the Teflon itself, a lot of people misunderstand. The Teflon itself is not necessarily the problem, it's the
It's
precursor chemicals. So for
Yeah.
example, it's not necessarily that your Teflon pan scratched, although that is not necessarily a good thing. And they say as soon as your
No.
Teflon pan scratches, toss the fucking thing. And a lot of
Well,
people
it's something
don't,
to do.
right? But it's the precursor chemicals that effectively cannot be masked. And so they've polluted everything just with those precursors.
Huh.
Go ahead.
But it had something to do with the fact that Teflon is basically inert.
Well,
So that's
Teflon
why
itself
they.
apparently has like from what I remember, it has like a huge molecule that supposedly can't pass the blood-brain barrier. So they're not really necessarily worried. How do I say this? People are a little bit abundantly cautious. For example, I am like out of abundant caution, I've stopped using Teflon. But the science, I think, is sound that actually the molecule can't actually penetrate the human body. And da, da, da. So it's not as if the scratched pan is going to kill me. It's essentially the pollution in all our waterways and everything else, basically from those
Yeah.
precursors from DuPont and so on. And
I've
they have
never been,
famously polluted the world, basically.
never been a fan of non-stick pans. I'd rather have cast iron or a good all-clad skillet.
Most infuriating thing to me is, yeah, like they don't honestly work that well. If you cook
No.
properly, then any pan is non-stick, basically.
Yeah.
Because seriously, you let the pan heat up, put your oil in there, and boom, it's
Yeah.
fucking non-stick. And there is no such thing as frying with water. Like frying with water is cooking with water. When you fry, it has to be an oil-based thing. So it could be butter, it could be an animal fat, it could be a plant fat. But the concept of frying requires oil, right? But of course, you can fry with less oil or more oil, whatever. But again, a decent, and it doesn't, like, people always say, oh, it's not well seasoned, the cast iron pan. Dude,
But air fry.
I frequently will like cook tomato sauce because you're never supposed to really cook tomato
You're
sauce
not
in a cast iron pan.
supposed to- you're
I
not-
fucking don't give a shit. I'll cook tomato sauce,
But
whatever,
I've cooked
because
tomato-
the next time I cook, I can just basically
Yeah.
clean that off.
Yeah.
And by the way, I do use soap and water with my cast iron pans.
I
It's
do
not a problem.
too.
It doesn't
I
it
do
doesn't
too.
strip the
It's not a
seasoning or anything
problem.
else. You
No.
just have to next time use oil, bring the
Yeah.
heat up to temperature. You could re-season, but you don't have to. I haven't re-seasoned in fucking years,
No.
you know. Yeah.
No. But like
In fact, my favorite pan really is a rolled steel. It's actually a Lodge too, but it's just a rolled steel pan,
okay.
a little bit more lightweight than the cast iron pan, so I can use it more like an actual saute pan.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's good shit.
Alright.
No fucking Teflon involved.
No.
So then VT says I went out yard sailing this AM and found I'm
Yep.
completely misunderstood, and that's so funny. I know exactly what you're saying now as soon as I finish the
He was
comment, but the
sailing
first
the yard.
as soon as I thought it was like Monty Python, he went out sailing in his yard at 3 in the morning. No, I continued reading and I realized, okay, he went yard sailing, like going out to garage sales, yard sales, and found
He
3
got
new
3
cast iron
cast
pans, keeping one hustling the other. Right on, VT.
All right. Okay.
Nice one. Dude, some of those cast iron pans can get expensive on eBay. The old Griswolds and stuff, people will find
Oh yeah,
those.
some of the
That's like the
Wagners and
holy
shit.
grail. Holy shit. Yeah, you could score
Yeah,
that for a couple,
I've sold a few of
$300.
them.
Have you
I've
sold
sold
it?
a
How much did you get them for?
Well, like $5 or something. But I've
No
sold them for
shit.
like
Wow. Huh.
up to like 150, $200.
Oh, that's incredible.
For certain
You-
sizes, do better. Ones that I don't know, or like the different like cookie molds and shit. that
Oh, you
were-
guys in the Midwest are
Okay.
so lucky. I remember Captain 420
the
was talking about
omelet
how he'd
ones.
go to an antique shop and there's like everything there for low prices. Like here in the West Coast, everything has been so picked through. Like you never find like if you find a Griswold pan, you'll find it, but it's for $200.
Yeah.
You know,
it's
so-
basically what it's like here on the East Coast too. Now.
Yeah, yeah. I've heard that too, that the East Coast is picked through too, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I've
man.
got one within arm's reach of me, but I can't see it right now.
That's what she said.
I
channel.
literally just saw on Facebook today in like my local town's Facebook group, somebody like was like posted up at like the local like shitty like mall, and they have a business where they buy like old cast iron pans and resell them. I was like, oh, interesting. I'm not buying a
Yeah,
cast.
it's fascinating. How much volume would you have to get a viable business? I guess honestly, when you sell them for a couple $300 a piece, I guess you
What's
honestly
all good
wouldn't
is-
need more than a couple hundred pans a month.
Complete sets, because they would come in sets, or they were made in sets.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
your number 1 up to your number 8 or whatever.
Hmm. Fascinating.
I think the one I have is a Wagner.
Oh, those are great old pans too. Yeah,
It's got,
It's got
Uh,
the
got
cross
quite
on it.
coating on the outside of it.
yeah.
Got like a
Those are
circle
from
with the cross on the
Minnesota, I
bottom.
think. Yeah.
Oh, hey,
A lot of shit was from Minnesota. I think Lodge was too.
the
Um,
lodges made a resurgence. You can
Are they?
Red
the
Wing. There's a
Fuck, I
lot of
used to
Red
know
Wing
where Lodge
pottery
is
up
from.
here.
Why can't I think of it?
I can Google
I
it.
want to say Wisconsin, maybe.
G5 something.
Tennessee. No, it's
Should
ten.
we
I was
look
gonna
up?
say it
Oh,
was Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Yeah, Pittsburgh, Tennessee. I don't know how I knew that, but I somehow knew that.
What was the other one you were talking about?
Here's Lodge,
Wagner.
Wagner.
I'm looking at Wagner right now, but what was the other one you guys were talking about?
Griswold.
Griswold.
Yep.
Clark.
Clark. Griswold.
Oh man, VT says one of my last cast on eBay went for $400 to $500. I have a few really nice pieces. My daily cooker is an 1890 Griswold Erie. God damn, dude.
Fuck.
Erie,
Save some
Pennsylvania.
save some fucking mojo for the rest of us. Jesus H Christ.
Wagner's Erie.
I can remember that now, seeing Erie, PA on album.
Mm-hmm. It's a hell of a pan.
Yeah, up here we see a lot of Crocs. Like Red
Says
Wing Crocs.
Wagner, Sydney, Ohio.
Oh, that sounds right. Huh.
But
Auto
the
steel
other
mills
one,
and stuff
the
back there.
Griswold was
And one of them was from like Massachusetts, I want to say.
I would think there's something up there.
Yeah, there used to be several manufacturers. Now there's only pretty much Lodge in the US. Well, in Portland there's Finex, but they're like a luxury because they're like you can get
Yeah.
a Lodge frying pan for $30. The Finex one will be like $200.
Griswold, Erie, Pennsylvania.
There we go. That's the one that was in the East Coast.
And then we wanted to know what Lodge was.
Lodge is Tennessee.
That was Tennessee.
Yeah, if you look up Red Wing Crockery on eBay, that's some of that shit goes for insane amounts.
Huh.
Red Wing or Red Wing?
Red Wing.
Red Wing Crocker.
Red Wing crock. Yeah, Red Wing, like a 20-gallon crock. Usually runs about $200
Oh wow.
without the lid.
Oh, I remember. I don't know if we're thinking of the same thing, but I remember the fermenting crocks or whatever. They still make them to this day. The same company makes them to this day, but apparently the antiques of those are super
yeah.
crazy fucking valuable.
These ones say McDonald's on the side of them, and they're like $300.
Oh wow.
It's like
Yeah, no, the Red Wing ones, they can get really expensive.
whoa! It's like
Thousands of dollars.
it's literally a whole set of them from McDonald's. Look at this.
Must have been a promo set.
You can
Oh, how
find a McDonald's
fascinating.
ashtray. A McDonald's
Huh.
ashtray is worth like $300.
Oh, they're
or something.
enameled. Oh, look at that. They're like enameled Crocs.
Like
Right on.
salt and pepper shakers.
Yeah, we
cups,
were kind of thinking of the same thing if
like
those are Crocs. Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
dispenser thingies.
Huh.
Huh.
Must have been a seasonal promo or some shit.
That's weird.
Huh.
But like now you see like that's like the old like
Yeah.
Yep, that's what the Red Wing ones look like.
yeah. Oh,
Huh.
now
And I
see
was thinking of
it has the
those.
Red Wing stamp on it. Yeah. Okay.
Yep, they'll either have
Which is
Red
like I
Wing
say,
or they'll
funny
have-
because they still make, I don't know about Red
New
Wing, but a
leaves.
couple of those companies still make those Crocs to this day, brand new. And they're not super inexpensive. They're, $40, $50, $60, $70 or whatever for
Oh,
decent
here
sized
you go.
Croc. But apparently
There's
the
also-
antiques are just ludicrous.
A butter churn. It's for sale in Minnesota of all places. $500 or best offer.
Yep,
Well,
all
but
the
I mean, just because
antique
they're
stores here are
selling it, I would want to
chock
see
full of those things.
completed listings.
Yeah, no, all the antique stores are chock full of those. And
Got
sold
the-
listings too,
But
if
it's
you want
got
to
the
look at.
original churn for it and everything. Look at that.
Oh, I've seen
Oh, yeah.
butter churns and shit. I don't know how
Yeah, they're
unique
everywhere
that
up
is.
here.
Yeah,
That's because your mom churns butter.
nice.
And then there's the Red Wing leather boots are another big commodity from Minnesota.
Huh?
Well, yeah, no, yeah. My friends wear those and stuff. Chippewa, where are Chippewas from? Those are
I
another
think
one.
those might be Minnesota too. I know
They're from
the Indian
Minnesota
tribe
too?
was there.
Wisconsin or something? I
Oh
don't
my God. Is there anything that's not made in Minnesota?
know.
Not spam. Spam's made here.
Oh, that's right. Did I tell you about how I got the bacon flavored or like made with Hormel bacon spam recently?
Hormel, another
I
Minnesota
got
company.
the I talked about it on the show like a year ago. I got the maple flavored spam or whatever. They had a special version at Costco. Like it was kind of okay, but like I don't know, dude. Like I'd have it for breakfast sometimes, kind of fry it up like maple bacon, and it was good for that. But like on a sandwich or something, it was weird because it was like
Yeah.
maple syrup infused spam. It was very, 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 very strange.
Yeah,
But I
yeah,
didn't return
pretty
it. I
sure
remember I
Hormel in
did return
Minnesota.
one of the spams. Fuck, one of the because
Oh
they have like these
wow! Look
special edition spams, right? And so I got it at Costco, and it was fucking gross. But I cannot remember the
at it. Look at this
version
one.
of it.
It's a it's
Oh, that's cool.
it's another Ronald McDonald one, but like that one's cool.
Yeah, that's fun.
Look at that, 1995 it says, but
Huh.
huh.
How
But
funny.
still, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like the just like the outline on the pottery, you know.
I go show you some pottery in the dark, but I'm too lazy.
Next time.
Hardcore.
Boys and girls,
I should send you the link. One of my friends, she has a pottery studio in the town over. She also just opened like a little speakeasy nightclub. But yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and she's from Brazil. So there's that as well.
sounds
They've got
fun.
three.
Sounds like a winner. All right, boys and girls. I think we're gonna let Hardcore eat his pizza. I'm gonna go fry up some chicken and potatoes. I think might be the cuisine of the evening this fine
What
evening.
happened to the poutine?
You know what? It's still in the mix under consideration, but I don't think it's realistic. Let me think here. I could theoretically do it though, because
Why
I
don't
could
you just
do
put some of that
I could do basically it
cheese
would be because I
on
have some
your-
rotisserie chicken. Essentially, it could be a rotisserie chicken poutine with that both Munster cheese because I would want to put that Munster because I won't have one slice left. Come on. I would just melt the Munster on the first layer of cheese and then sprinkle the crumbles of the picnic on top of that. And then I could do that. I don't have any gravy. That's the deal breaker right there. I don't have any
Got
gravy.
any
There you go,
beef,
yeah.
beef bouillon? You got
I
some
have chicken
beef base?
bouillon, but no, I don't have time for making
You
gravy
ain't
right
making
now.
gravy.
Yeah, no.
You ain't making gravy for French
And
fries.
it's not a poutine if it doesn't have some fucking gravy, honestly. Yeah. Otherwise, it's just like a coated French fry.
Hey, listen,
You have
we'll
those all
work
over the
on
place,
this. Maybe
south
we
of the
can
border here.
have a group.
We could definitely work on
poutine.
this. This is a solvable problem. We could totally do a poutine evening.
Yes.
OD would be so happy. It's even funnier that he's not on right now. We could do a poutine evening. Although strangely enough, he never talks about poutine.
That's what your mom calls
We
it.
should probe him. Nice. We should probe him for poutine information. Maybe he's not really Canadian. Maybe he's actually a Soviet spy.
Oh,
We should totally do a. By the way, we're still gonna try to do the Fumidoro twerk off, but we're gonna definitely need to do a poutine off.
yes.
And speaking of Canadians, we could totally try to involve Green Goddess. I bet she knows. Well, I don't know. She's native Canadian, so maybe she's not a poutinist.
I'm quarter French Canadian.
So, are you a poutinite?
Well, I don't know. I've never had it, but my grandmother's last name was Vertefe.
You've never had poutine?
No.
I'm not even Canadian. I'm not even a quarter Canadian, and I've had poutine.
I mean, they have it.
I've never had it.
They've had it. Like,
I'm
What the fuck have you never had poutine? You live right next to Canada.
It's like
South Canada.
You've probably
it's a
accidentally
kitschy
walked
food
into
truck
Canada
thing
before.
now. Like,
Oh, 100%. It's like a hipster thing
They
now.
have,
You can
like,
find it in like
literally
Orange
now.
County.
I mean,
By
I
Lake
would not
Metagosti.
eat it. Like, I'm not afraid of it.
I think hardcore is afraid of it. I think that's what it is.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, no, literally the only time I've ever been to Canada was like it was a one-way road that was like one side of a lake that was only
But you
accessible
live like
from
300 yards
America?
from Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've only
No,
been there once?
Yeah.
It's like, I'm just not
My
curious
brother,
about that
my
weird
dad and my
place up
brother used to
there.
go fishing up there all the time, but
Frozen North. They talk weird and shit. I don't know, man. I don't
Anyway,
know, bro.
my grandmother's last name means the green leaf in French. So
Nice.
I'm doing God's work over here.
There you go. You see? It's genetic,
two
ladies
pieces
and
of pizza
gentlemen. It's
left.
in your blood. What's that, hardcore?
I've got 2 pieces of pizza left.
You ate that whole sucker?
Yep.
Not bad.
No,
How is it?
he boofed half of it.
That's right. No, I shoved most of it up my ass. How is it? So what's the verdict?
It was pretty dank.
Right
And
on.
I've eaten all of it too, except for like 2 pieces that I gummed some of the shit off the top.
Well, there you go. Right on.
right.
All right, you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Well, probably not here first because it's national brand and shit, but you did hear it here. We'll just say that because you have been listening.
Newman's
Newman's
frozen
Own
pizzas
Pizza
are
for
approved.
$3. I don't even know if it was on sale or regular
It's not
price,
the
but
worst.
hardcore approved.
That's my official.
Did
It's
you
not the
get
worst?
that at Aldi?
It's not
Hey,
the
I'll take
worst.
it.
Yep.
I'll tell you. That's why, because Aldi's is kind of like Trader Joe's. They have like, and Aldi's is still kind of like the old Trader Joe's where they had
Yeah.
like, because Trader Joe's is not really cheap anymore.
Right.
Trader Joe's used to be like, you'd have fun shit from South Africa, but it would also be cheap sometimes.
Yeah.
And it was always different shit and so
Yeah.
on. So Aldi's is kind of like that still.
No.
And so I wouldn't be surprised if those pizzas actually normally cost like $8 a piece.
Oh,
But Aldi's got
these
like
are
some
not
special
here.
deal. Like they offered fucking Newman's Own a bag of cash, and they were like, "All right, fine, we'll take them at $1 a piece or
Yep.
whatever."
Yep. No, my local supermarket is just a
Yeah.
family owned one or whatever, and every
Like
once in a while they
IPA?
buy. Well, I wouldn't know. Like whatever your local
Association.
one guy owns it. It's called Tom's
Oh,
because a dude named Tom owns it.
okay.
He actually owns 2 of them. It's a franchise. There's one 5 miles away.
Wow.
But they buy every once in a while. You see, they have some killer deals on things.
Yeah.
You must buy things in bulk,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
See,
bet.
Yeah.
Frosted Flakes for fucking $2 for a family size or something like that.
Yeah.
There's a deal. You can make cookies with Frosted Flakes or corn flakes.
Cornflakes. The story behind that's pretty crazy.
So bizarre. Yeah, like the guy literally thought it was gonna lower masturbation. Like I'm telling you, dude, religion
I
has
tell you
screwed up
what, I
so
was
many
eating
fucking
them for a
people.
while. It didn't stop that from happening.
Yeah, have you ever met a teenager? They could fucking eat box after box of that and just don't talk to them afterwards. All right, boys and girls, we're about to hit the 20. I think this is as good of a time as any to both end this extremely important poll that we've had in the chat. We're going to end it right now.
let mine get mushy, and then you need a hand.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's pretty. That's different.
Not provoking.
So, ladies and gentlemen, the extremely important poll in the chat, by the way, before we leave, the question is, are ye bastards? It's both a statement and a question, really. Answers are blarg, 15% only. Shiver me timbers, like yo mama, 21%. Yar at 26%. And a pint of grog for the bastards at 36%.
That's
So,
what I
ladies
want.
and gentlemen, that's the winner.
Pint of grog.
So, a pint of grog for all the bastards, ladies and gentlemen. Are ye bastards?
It is the Ren Fair right down the road, so
Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
I almost went
You know
tonight.
what?
There was a boob
I have to be
contest.
honest, every time I've ever been in one of those like fantasy or Ren fairs or something, like I'm not that into fantasy or something, so I kind of just get dragged from time to time. So last time I went, like it was a really nice vibe, and I realized like, oh, these people are actually kind of like genuinely having fun. It was one of the first times that I felt like everyone was just kind of being themselves, which is somewhat ironic because they're wearing costumes, right?
Yeah.
But I guess the costumes allow them to just kind of
Yeah.
be themselves or something.
There was a titty contest tonight, and I didn't go.
You see?
There's also-
You see what I'm talking about? They
there was
wouldn't have a
also
titty
speed
contest at
dating.
the
Also, speed
Whatever the
dating
fuck.
earlier today, and they're gonna have it again tomorrow. But
You see? Sounds like fun.
Uh,
Ren Fair, you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Ren Fair and Newman's Own Pizza. If you could combine the two, we could probably solve most of the world's problems, I would think. Wouldn't you say? I mean, between the speed dating and the pizza, bro, what else is there? Come on.
and titties.
You see? We
And,
basically
well,
solved
there
everything.
was also a kilt contest, so if you're into that, maybe you could, vote for that.
A tilt contest?
Kilt, like kilt.
Kilt contest.
They're like,
So
there's
there's
a
something
book-
for everybody, in other words.
there's a
There's the
book
titty
of
contest and a
contest
kilt
and a kilt
contest. I got you. I see. There's probably some overlap there as well. I don't know.
I would imagine. That's what she said.
Yeah, nice one. Especially when the titty combatants join the kilt contest, and then there's some overlap, or the kilt people try to join the titty contest. Yeah, I mean, there's some.
I think it might be called underlap or tucked lap.
I'm not sure what to do with that information.
No.
All right. Happy 420, just barely, ladies and gentlemen. I almost missed it. Thanks very much for joining us, folks. I think we're going to call it because I'm hungry and have stuff to do. Thanks very much for joining us, folks. Imagine a field of mustaches. That's what we're describing right there. Good to see you, folks. Who wants to go first? Hardcore. You want to go first and allow your digestion to do its thing?
Yeah, your mom had a few of the mustaches.
Nice. Actually, well done. Nice. Go for it, Silent Truth.
See you
Jabba the
later.
Hutt,
Bye.
biggest gangster in 3 galaxies. Later, bud. Good to see you.
Absolutely.
Oh, go ahead. I keep thinking he was done talking, but no, they had more to say, and I'm just talking over them. Sorry, guys. Cheers, Pats fan. Good to see you, buddy. I don't know why I was. Cheers, Pats fan. Cheers. I'm coming to get you. I'm not. I don't know why I did it that way. Cheers, Pats fan. Good to see you. Cheers, VT. VT was talking, by the way, about the weird little size pans. He was like, bro, those are crazy money. I have heard that too, honestly. And it would take a real player like that to remind us that the weird little sizes are oftentimes the fucking bonkers money. What was I going to say? Jeff Papalia, good to see you. He says, watering with molasses, firing up the microbes for the start of spring. Oh, that's right. They are starting spring now. How funny it is I always think like I think I lag one season behind or something. I always feel like they're one season behind, and then I realize, oh right, it's fucking summertime in Australia. Here's I think Coffee Pot's off sleeping soundly right now, so we won't shout him out and wake him up. Never know if the computer's that loud. Jay Patrick, if he's still hanging with us. Who else in here? Dr. Levy Alone, of course. Who else in here? Well, I think I got you all. All of a sudden, my right eye is like, I want to go to sleep now. Ned Denver. There we go. I knew there was one more watching. Boys and goys, ladies and gerbils, lurkers, non-lurkers, all of you all, thank you very much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. If I didn't shout you out, hopefully we'll catch you next time. We'll be here on Tuesday. We'll be technically actually on my other channel on Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen. Still not ready really to bring back guests and stuff, which is annoying the ever-loving shit out of me, to be perfectly honest with you, but it is what it is, honestly. I would rather defeat those clowns than, I don't know. There's going to be a point where I want to stop treading water. But anyway, I'm very apprehensive of starting to do things the way I did them because I think I'm just going to get reported and struck and all that kind of stuff, and it just shuts down any kind of, like, if I ever do get any kind of momentum building on my channel, they get my channel shut down and it shuts down all the momentum. It's one of those kinds of things. So, but it's unfortunate because then I become paranoid about that thing's happening again, you know? So, Jesus, H fucking Christ with these fucking trolls on the internet. I can't even. Cheers, Jess and Bean. Good to see you. I was just thinking about you earlier today. Good to see you. Always a pleasure, Jess and Bean. And everybody also remember, folks, here's me focusing on the bad people. Oh, I got to do this, I got to do that. Ladies and gentlemen, always remember that the good people, the better people, the good people in the community far outweigh the bad people in the community. And that goes probably for just about every community we're in. Probably worth reminding, because you remember one of the weird things that I've learned over the last few years, went out for a drink with somebody a couple of years ago, and she was like, yeah, I run this crochet community, and told me about all the weird drama and like crochet, you know. So it turns out bird watching, for sure, photography. We were talking about photography earlier. Unfortunately, the photography groups, photography clubs are famously toxic. Photography online is super, super, super toxic. It's for weirdest reasons too. Some of it is the kind of the class stuff, because you know the people with the Leicas, but actually weirdly enough, the people with the Leicas and stuff are usually not the ones causing the problems. It's other people. I don't photography is toxic. That's basically what it is. So here's me super interested in photography, never dipping my toe into the photography forums because even I can see how fucking toxic they are. Ladies and gentlemen, it bears remembering, it bears repeating, it bears paying attention to that the good people far outweigh the bad people. And whenever possible, you should honestly crowd out the bad people with the good freaking experiences. You should basically make the bad people feel unwelcome so they leave and find something else to take over, like maybe the photography forums that are already so bad. Ladies and gentlemen, we have folks here, not only just generally, like it's something I remind myself, we have folks who are kind, good-hearted people who've been watching my show sometimes for years, honestly. Some of them have been regular customers that I've known for years, or they've sent me compost, or they sent me, I don't know, people have sent me stickers from places. Like, come on, like just fun shit, honestly. And it's something that I really need to remind myself. And I think it's something that is worth reminding the entire audience that there's probably, you guys know this better than I do, honestly. I just focus probably too much on the shitheads. There is a tremendous abundance of kind and decent people in even the cannabis community that we, in many cases, most of us complain about, right? I guess not all of us complain about, but I've heard most of us complaining in one way or the other about the cannabis community. Even with that, remember, there are a lot of really cool people in the entire cannabis scene. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we'll end this at that. I don't know, I can't speak today, apparently. Maybe it's the hunger talking. I don't know. I'm not really starving to death. I'm just joking. But before I start starving to death, wasting away in front of your eyes, ladies and gentlemen, a shadow of myself. I'm going to go have some dinner. Thanks very much for joining us, folks. Until we meet again, we'll be talking hopefully on Tuesday. We'll be goofing off. Do join us on the main channel if you meet on the flavors. Excuse me. Thank you all for watching. Thank you also to the trolls for watching, because almost certainly you've been watching literally until the end, so you could just hopefully maybe report me. I'm pleased to say we haven't mentioned my website one single time. There's actually nothing for you to report. So good for you for watching my channel. Maybe it'll rub off on you. You know what I mean? Maybe the decency and good vibe will actually rub off on you. And some of the cool people that we were just talking about will turn you into a not shithead. I doubt that will happen, but who knows? You never know. But thanks all of you folks for watching, my loyal happy fans, my loyal unhappy fans. I don't even know what I'm trying to say right now. Dogs and cats that were sitting in the room. My dog is sitting here listening to me ramble on. I sometimes wonder what he thinks, because he can basically understand English. Like, he doesn't understand everything, especially conveniently things that I need him to do. But he understands simple stuff like, hey, you want to go out and pee or whatever. Like, he goes and does that. Like, he seems to understand plain English. So I wonder sometimes, what does he think I'm doing? Am I just talking to myself or what? You know what I mean? So anyway, he's not weirded out by it. So he just kind of sits here and relaxes. But uh, I was thinking about this the other day, actually. Somehow I said something to myself, and my dog was like, "That's weird. Like, what are you talking to yourself, or are you talking to me?" So somehow he does realize that it's different when I do it here than I do it in the living room. Anyway, I'll have to figure that out one of these days. Wouldn't it be nice if we could just ask them? Ladies and gentlemen, except for I sometimes say, be careful what you wish for, because if dogs could talk, it would all be like, hey, fuck you. Hey, fuck you too. Hey, fuck you. Like dogs barking at people on the street, or at home, they'd be like, can I have some of that? Can I have some of that? Can I have some of that now? How about that? Can I have some of that? Just be the same shit all day long, motherfucker. Holy shit. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, you never know. Maybe they would have something halfway interesting to say, because dogs are pretty adorable. Thanks, folks, for hanging. Didn't mention anything about my website or anything. Ladies and gentlemen, the coupon codes are active. Use the coupon code GiddyUp for 40% off. Use the coupon code JUGOLD also now for 40% off. It used to be 33% off, but I was like, that's stupid. Let's just use both coupon codes at 40% off. That goes for pretty much all the cucumber seeds that are on the website. Pick up some of my favorites, Sour Morgana. I'm popping some Soul Ripper right now, ladies and gentlemen. That's the Pine Sol to JTR. I'm really looking forward to those. Honestly, that's going to be a banger. I've always loved the JTR crosses, and I love the JTR male that I already crossed to, and I've grown some stuff that I crossed with that male. So I'm definitely going to enjoy those Pine Sol JTR seeds myself. Soul Ripper, I called that one. I think actually that's one of my favorite names that I've come up with. But ladies and gentlemen, what's the other one that I'm working on? They haven't popped yet, but I'm popping some of North Star's Hashberry. What else? Oh, a fun one. Really fun one that I'm looking forward to. I'm not going to tell you about it yet. Another JTR cross. Actually, I don't have nearly enough seats to release, unfortunately. It's going to be private only. It was, no, actually, that wasn't a happy accident. I did mean to breed that one. It was just a small plant. Yeah, it was a small plant. Um, that has the potential. This one particular one, I'll tell you about it soon, because we got perfect germination from them. looking really forward to it. It's going to be an abundance of flavor, really great high. I'm honestly surprised that they all popped, candidly, because it was kind of like almost a throwaway little plant, blah blah blah. But anyway, I got like 35 seeds off of it, and sure enough, anyway, whatever. I'm very excited about that. I'll tell you guys more about it probably when I plant them in clone cups or something. Potentially, I'll find like a male out of that one. Actually, that's fun enough that I would look for a male out of that one. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I'll tell you more about it in the near future. Ladies and gerbils, I've been threatening to say goodbye. Be kind, be decent, be gentle, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be fucking pricks, dicks, or lunatics, my friends. Puff something wonderful. Do something kind for yourself or others. If you have a dog or a cat or, I don't know, lizard for all I care, do something nice for that animal. Animals appreciate kind gestures as well. Other than that, my friends, try to be a force for good in the world, ladies and gentlemen, instead of a fucking miserly piece of shit. And we'll leave it at that, my friends.